Hello everyone, if anybody got in this early I'll start in one moment. Just need a second to set up here, back in 1 second. I don't actually know how to get the stream URL to tweet it out. This is how awkward the YouTube streaming thing is. 1 second. Alright. We'll just have to go ahead. Maybe I can tweet it out in a while. Alright, so I had a quick look over the E3 recap website. And there was nothing that really jumped out at me that wasn't shown in any of the conferences. Granted, I didn't give it that much time. But I'm just going to go through the conferences. There's plenty of stuff to discuss in those anyway. I gotta lower down the audio on this thing. 1 second. One thing to be aware of as well is I think I watched the trailer for most things, or at least I took a look at most things, but I didn't watch the trailer for Death Stranding, so I'm not going to be discussing that. If you're waiting for me to discuss that, you can leave now. It's not happening. It's... I only watched about the first 30 seconds of it or so, and then that was it, so... trying to think if there's anything else. I think we're good. Just give me 1 sec. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm going to do them in chronological order, like before. Seems like the fairest way to do it. And hopefully you can hear me okay. If there's any problems with the stream, let me know, and I'll see if I can fix it. Right. Let me get my chat over here. Let's see what we can get going. 5 minutes taken now. Right. Okay, let's just jump in. Okay, so let me know if it's too loud or anything. I'm going to keep it pretty low. I probably won't spend too long on EA. Somebody's already asking to skip EA. I didn't watch all the conferences in full. I kind of missed the start of them. I was a bit unsure of the start times. I ended up missing the start of a lot of them, which seemed like a blessing when it came to the Sony one. So I can't make my mic any louder, unfortunately. I'll have to work on that, but hopefully you can crank it up on your end a bit. I'm right in on top of the mic right now, so it doesn't get any better than this. I'm talking quite loud as well. Right. So this is all the preamble, blah blah blah, Battlefield. I'm just gonna be honest and say when I have no interest in something, then skip it. And Battlefield is one of those. I've no interest in this game. I don't know. I think it's the setting does nothing for me really. You know, I kind of the only Battlefield game I wanted to play. I think I said this before was the one in the future, and my PC couldn't handle it at the time, and I sort of missed that. I missed the boat on that one. Yeah, no time for Battlefield. Football. Oh man. Yeah, this must have been torture to watch in real time. I didn't watch this bit. That's 10 minutes of football. Football. Here we go. I'm regretting the stream already. It's everybody's favorite lizard man. More football. Star Wars. Okay. I have no interest in Star Wars either. I've recapped my thoughts on that in the previous years, so I just don't find the universe to be that interesting, honestly. I don't think it's worth it. You know. I wish that all the creative people who get so hung up on Star Wars would just go and make something else, because, you know, you can do it. I believe in you. It doesn't all have to be Star Wars. Yes, this was my favorite bit of the EA conference from what I saw. Not Unraveled itself. I didn't actually play the original one. I might get around to it at some point. I didn't play it, but I love how... See, EA were slightly less lizard people this year around. You know, the people on stage were slightly less lizard people than before. And But then it took on a whole new sinister turn because they realized that they would appear less evil the more, like, they found a strategy that worked in previous years where they roll actual humans out on stage, you know? Like this guy, he's an actual human being. And it's very sinister that they have these people captive, you know? They have actual human beings are enslaved by the lizard people now. It's not just the lizard people making the games. They have actually enslaved these real human flesh and blood human beings, you know? And that's just... So we have a progression here from previous E3s to new E3s, and it's not a good one, you know? They live. I'm telling you, man. So yeah, I didn't play the original, so I don't have that much interest in this one. But, you know, it could be a nice game. I'm not knocking it. I find that, there's sort of a level of cutesy visuals that a game has where it reaches those level of visuals, and I think that's nice, and maybe it's still nice to play, but it's probably means that the gameplay isn't that good. You know what I mean? And I think that's an unfair bias because I don't see any reason why it should be that way, and maybe Unraveled isn't that way, you know? But it's the kind of thing where it feels like developers tend to prioritize one or the other. And, the physics on that actually look okay. But I'm just wondering how interesting is it really, you know? I like the hook shot that it's got going on there. That's alright. That's alright by me. Maybe I should play this at some point. But yeah, I don't know. It's an unfair thing, you know? Because... obviously they're putting effort into the visuals, but it kind of, in my mind, it ends up working against them a little bit, you know? Which I think is unfair. I'm saying it's unfair, so don't hold that one against me too much. Right, let's see. Unravel 2. Yeah. You know, this was the guy last year, they wheeled him out, and he was a real human, and that worked, and now they wheel out another real human here. And she sort of says, I'm making a game, and, you know, I'm excited, and yeah. And then you forget all about the lizard people, you know? So, Let me see if I can disable fucking have a spam filter thing on. No, 1 second. Let me see settings automatically. There we go. Right. If we get those chat bots back, I'll have to turn that back on. But now you can swear to your heart's content in the chat. Right. Yeah, we got a lot of blocked ones there from fuck the Oscars. Why is that blocked? I just turned the thing off. Right. No, it's still blocking messages. I turned the fucking filter off. I have it unticked. Yeah, no, it's not working. You're gonna have to clean language, because I don't have time to click on the approve thing for all of these things, right? Clean language, everyone. Yeah, no, stop. Yeah. Right. Piss doesn't get filtered for some reason. I don't know, work it out. Yeah, so she seems, like a real human being. I don't know, I'm not that interested in the game itself, but it's something. I like that EA are branching out like this. I support them. Maybe we shouldn't be too hard on them and give them the whole lizard people thing too much, because this kind of supporting small developers like this is good, So fair play. Sports, no interest. I don't get sports games, and again, maybe it's just a thing where I'm just biased against them. I don't know. I'm kind of get the appeal of something like Monday Night Combat, where it's not a sport you could actually play in real life, But there are clubs you can join where you could just go out and play football, and it just seems a little weird. And then I can understand you want to sit on your couch and you just want to play basketball on a TV or whatever, but then they try and make it into an esport, and that is, yeah, no, yeah, they had this whole esports angle on the sports game, and that was fucking awful. Oh my god, no. No, oh no, I think I repressed this because I forgot all about it. No. Yeah. This was the one part of E3 where I wish I had been doing it live. I mean, if you had a face cam on me when this bit happened, I would have been... My face just fucking dropped. And I realized it early, because I love Command and Conquer, or at least I did when I was younger, and before they started slowly chipping away at it. But this shit comes up on screen, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And then I look and I see, wait, hang on. There's a big angular blue building, and there's a big sinister looking red building, and no, it's GDA, and then the Tiberium, you see the Tiberium and you just go, no. You have to credit EA, like, it's one thing to kill, like, I played only a little bit of Command and Conquer 4, and maybe it's not as bad as people say, because I'm willing to say that, the whole mobile base thing could have been interesting. It's, it's fine to reinvigorate a series by changing it up a little bit, but I mean, people thought that Command and Conquer 4 was the bullet in the back of the head of Command and Conquer, it's like, and then EA goes, no, we can do one further. We can do even worse than that. And the thing I don't get is, like, maybe there's some 30 or 40-year-old people who used to love Command and Conquer and don't have the time to play a proper Command and Conquer game who will get this because it's Command and Conquer game. Maybe, right? But I don't I don't see how much do you stand to gain versus how much do you stand to lose by having this be a Command and Conquer game. It's so much bad will. I mean, I can't forgive this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something. Yeah. And it's a phone game, and they try to do the esports fucking angle on it as well. You know, like, give me a break. Yeah, it's not really. I haven't really said anything constructive. I mean, I'm not really giving any insight. I'm just having a bitch and a whine about this, and I don't think it deserves anything more than that. I mean, this is just bad. It's not good. It doesn't make sense to me. Just make it its own thing. If you were gonna do this, just make it its own thing. You know, don't fucking foist the Command and Conquer label on it. I hate the way that that's happening lately. You know. Like, it seemed very much like what happened with Prey, where Prey is not... It has nothing, as far as I can tell, it has nothing to do with the original Prey, and that only hurt it. That in the end, that only made people go, oh, I'm not fucking playing that, because I like the original Prey, and this is not it, you know? Whereas, if it just had a different name, maybe those same people would be, you know, all over it. I don't know. And it's fucking lazy, and it's shit. And yeah, this was probably the worst part of E3 for me, so at least it's over with now. Just awful, 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 awful. And maybe RTS games don't sell. Maybe they're not viable anymore. I don't know. Just don't make one. Just don't make a Command and Conquer. It'd be better than doing this. Fucking... do a fucking HD remake like they did for StarCraft. You know, you do Red Alert 2 remastered. You get sales, no problem. Fucking do that. So, yeah. Battlefield, Lizardman, Anthem. Yeah, I have no interest in Anthem either. This is it. Tune in every year to hear me say, no, I don't like it. Yeah, this went on for ages, didn't it? Yeah, Anthem. It seems very much to be chasing the whole Destiny thing. I don't play BioWare games, so I have no interest. I don't play Destiny, so this doesn't tick either box for me, you know. The world looks kind of nice. I will say that. Yeah, I mean, I like the world. It's got all this big, broken sort of machinery and stuff. It feels like I feel like they've taken some inspiration in the world design from Xenoblade. I don't know if they've said anything of that. But it's got all that big machinery sort of lying around. It's got a very vertical design to it and all that. But it's got nicer graphics, you know. It's got more fully realized, realistic graphics, and yeah, the environments look good. Definitely willing to give it that. Just you just know it's going to be, you know, go around, tick the box, fill the quest, tick the box, get a new piece of equipment that does +5 damage, you know, go off, tick the next box. I have no interest. I find this interesting as well. It's I'm more so talking about Destiny here, but I never played Destiny. But one thing that I found very strange about it was it only has 3 classes, right? And this only has 4, and that just seems a little... Surely there could be more than that. So that people... Because if you have a party of 3 or 4 people, it's going to be pretty similar every time, right? Unless you have 4 of the one thing or something like that. So that's kind of... doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Maybe there's sort of more specialization than I'm thinking, but I liked the underwater exploration. I liked that you could just dive into the water. That was pretty cool. But I'm never going to play it, so yeah. Oh, we're making great progress on this. What's this? 20 minutes, we're already done with EA. Great. Yeah, no, there's no point in me wasting more time on this game. I'm not going to play it. So, right, onto Microsoft. Why is that? That's coming out of my speakers. Oh, you're probably getting... Are you getting feedback on the audio or anything? Maybe I should go get some headphones or something. I don't know. Alright, I'll just leave it very low for me and hope that you can't hear it. Are you getting feedback? Somebody tell me. Nah? Okay. A little. Okay. I'll get some headphones. Give me 1 second. They're downstairs, so I'll be back in 1 second, alright? Sorry about this. I don't stream often, so yeah. Alright, I'm back. Hopefully you still get sound. I should be able to put the sound a little higher now. You can kind of get that in as well about this. And I was thinking the same thing, but I was amazed on how quickly she picked up on it. It's because she didn't watch all of these things, right? But it's like when they have a shooty bang bang game. Where's the... Is the stream down? Okay, no. We're back, are we? Alright. Not sure what happened there. I was saying, it's sort of like they trick you into being interested in the shooty bang bang games by pretending that they're not shooty bang bang games before they start, you know? They all this nature and all. I mean, when I was watching this, I was going, okay, oh, there's deer and yeah, maybe. And then, oh, will this be some exploration thing? And I go around and then, oh, there's military stuff. But maybe it's after that and all the people are gone. And maybe this all aliens or something, or there's something interesting. And then it's just like, oh, there's Master Chief. Okay, no, I don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. I've lost all interest. Yeah, I don't know, Halo Infinite, so probably you're gonna get to explore a bunch of stuff. I suppose that's what they're going for. But I've no interest in Halo. I mean, I've never liked Halo. Yeah. So there you go. And it's my understanding that the people that liked Halo don't even like Halo anymore. So, oh, somebody just said that the exact same time I said. Even the people who like Halo don't like Halo anymore. Yeah, exact same comment in the chat there. So maybe they'll pull through and they'll make a game that these people like, but it's not going to work on me. There's Phil. Ori, so this is something I'm looking forward to. We finally got to a game I want to play. Yeah, I really liked the first Ori. It's a really good game. It's I suppose this is kind of like what I was talking about before. You see all these cutesy graphics and you think, oh, it's a sort of slow, emotional, feely, sort of artsy game. But Ori is not that. I mean, the start of it sort of, it feels like that. It starts with this slow walk-in section and you're like, please don't tell me this whole game is going to be like this. And then it just becomes straight up a good platformer, you know? And it gets better as you go along and you unlock more abilities and stuff. The sword sort of thing, that's to me addressing like the biggest complaint about the original, which was the bad combat where you just sort of tapped square. So it seems like it doesn't look like he has the little wisp thing around him that did that. So, or her, whatever it is. So it seems like, yeah, I mean, there's a little bow thing. I don't even think I saw that the first time. Yeah, this looks like it's Ori, but it's got a nice actual decent combat thing to it where you have to, engage with the enemies properly. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it could be better than the first game. And it looks like they're giving you a bunch of new powers as well, which hopefully means they won't strip you away of too much stuff from the first game. I'm expecting you not to have everything from the first game, because you can get some pretty good stuff by the end of the first game that might trivialize the start of a game. But I hope that you will have at least some of what you had in the previous game. So really looking forward to that one. I was a little disappointed to see 2019, but whatever it takes to get that done and done well. Good job, Ori team. Really looking forward to it. I didn't expect Ori to get a sequel, but I'm happy that it is. It's yeah. Oh, here we go. Sure, a lot of you are tuning in for this one. Yeah. Well, this trailer didn't do anything for me. I'm just gonna, just gonna throw it out there. It didn't do anything for me. Some of the information that's come out afterwards is more interesting, but they seem very much in this video to be focusing on the action of the game, where, see, I like the stealth thing. I was even saying that all the way back in my Demon Souls commentary, that stealth is the perfect fit for these games, because it's tactical in that way. It's, you think before engaging the enemy, which is what I enjoy about those games, as I think I've made clear by now. So I really like the look of that. I like the arm. I didn't like the trailer's focus on, here's a big sword fight and because the fact of the matter is, it's just not going to be, like, even if it's better than the previous game so far, it's not going to be on the level of some other action games that you could name, quite a few of them. And so I don't, like, this boss just looks boring to me. But then, he raises up and he gets a sort of a stealth attack on him because he died, and that's kind of cool. So yeah, I don't know. I'm on the fence on it. I think I am happy that they said that they are removing all the RPG bullshit and all that. I don't think Bloodborne needed that. I don't think that it was necessary at all. I think it could very easily have been a better game without it. So I don't mind. I don't even mind that there's a fixed protagonist so much. It's just the focus on the action. They just seem to be doubling down on the action thing, and that's not what I am into these games for. But like I said, some of the interviews that came out afterwards have talked more about how they want you to think about each enemy encounter and all that kind of stuff. So I like the sound of that. But yeah. It's not an instant buy for me or anything like that. I will probably wait until all the DLC is out, because they release DLC for every game, and that just means, just gonna wait and just play it when the DLC is out and get the full experience all at once. I will say that was kind of nice. If you haven't done that for those games, it was kind of a nice thing to do for Dark Souls 3. I played it when the DLC was out, and it was nice just to have it all there and just know that the game was done at that point when I was playing it. So yeah, it doesn't do much for me, but I'm glad it's a change in setting. There are, listing it out now, there are a lot of things I'm glad about. I'm fine with them ditching the RPG stuff. I think the arm looks cool. I like the setting. I'm not sure the art direction is as good as Bloodborne or even Demon Souls or Dark Souls or anything, but we'll see. I expect there to be sort of weirder and more interesting stuff later on in the game, And yes, I heard that it will have a big interconnected world, which is a big plus for me. So there's a lot of, individually there's a lot of good things, but the trailer just left a bad impression on me, you know? So we'll see anyway, we'll see. I'm not unabashedly excited for it like I was for Dark Souls, so. Fallout 76. I don't think Fallout 76 looks as bad as some people say it does. That's a good point, actually. The robot hands in games is a big thing all of a sudden. I don't get that, but anyway. Yeah, so Fallout 76, I don't think this looks as bad as some people think it does, right? But I also, again, it's the sort of thing where you're foisting an IP on a game where that doesn't really matter. I mean, everything, let's just face the fact, everything these days is a franchise and a big thing. It's not something you do once and then you move the fuck on. And I hate that. I hate it. I just, you know, they could have easily made a different game that was sort of similar to Fallout in some ways, took some inspiration from Fallout, but had a different world to it and all that. And instead, they just sort of turn Fallout into a multiplayer game, which is not what people thought of. I mean, if you think back to the original Fallout, it's the furthest thing from a multiplayer game, you know? It's you and the consequences of your actions. That was the appeal of that game, and you can't do that in a multiplayer game. Or at least not like you just know if you nuke someone in this game, they're going to lose maybe an hour of progress or something. It's not the same thing, you know. I don't know. So why couldn't they just do something that was a little bit different? I don't get it. I don't get this need to force everything into a universe. It's the whole Marvel thing, the Star Wars thing, everything's because if it's somehow better if it's interconnected. Well, I disagree. I think it's the exact opposite, you know? I think that things are better when they're free to make whatever changes are needed to these things. Yeah, I agree that takes imagination. Someone is saying that takes imagination. Yeah, it does, you know? And that may be why they went with Fallout, because it's like, well, all that work is done for us and we just tack the multiplayer game onto it. Somebody else says that's why Supergiant Games is their favorite developer. I haven't really enjoyed their games so much, but I agree. I like that they have branched out and done things, and they sort of, you can even see with Supergiant's games, there's sort of a similar overarching feel to them, at least from the two I played. What little I played of the two of them, but they're very different, and those games are able to do the things they need to do because they take a different world and stuff, you know. So yeah, but again, I don't hate the idea as much as some people, but that's because I'm not as attached to Fallout as some people are, you know. I think if you are somebody who hates the idea of a multiplayer Fallout game, specifically an only multiplayer Fallout game, I think you're totally entitled to feel that way, you know. It's just it's outside what the core appeal of that series was. So yeah, so I sympathize with everybody who feels that way, and I hate the whole franchise thing. I really dislike it. I really wish developers would just make new things. Well, again, it's kind of because games are a hit driven business, I think is what they call it, you know, where companies will sink huge amounts of money into stuff that doesn't sell, and then they need the ones that sell to fund the other stuff. So maybe that's just the price you pay for making something that works and sells well, is that there's got to be a sequel to it, you know? I don't know. It doesn't have to go on forever like this, though, Fallout, you know? They will keep making Fallout games as long as people buy them, and they will turn them into whatever other thing they want to do. If you think about it, like, the people at Bethesda really wanted to make a multiplayer game like this, and they could have done that with a new IP. And that could have been the thing of that IP. It's sort of like got a little bit of that Fallout appeal to it, but it's a different thing. And I don't know. I wonder how unique I am. Like, I know I'm not unique, but I mean, I wonder how much of an outlier I am in that complaint, given how these games just continue to sell all the time, you know? I don't know. This thing as well, this is, even though it's a different story, it's like, they say somewhere in it, maybe it's already come up, I wasn't paying attention, it's in the same universe as the other game. Why? Who gives a shit if it's the same... I don't know. I am happy enough to play a game and put it down and say, that was that game, and it doesn't matter. I don't need to know every single fucking thing about that world. Maybe I'm better off not knowing some things, you know? So... yeah. Yeah, I'm not interested in this. I didn't play that other one that they made. Here we go. The game that didn't get cancelled because presumably Microsoft just can't cancel any more things, you know. Yeah, I never played the Crackdown games, but this looks alright to me. You go and you have a jump around and shoot things, but you're having fun jumping around, you know? Not a big fan of the trailer. I don't like the irreverent humor so much, but yeah. I like this. I mean, you know, if I'm going to play shooty bang bang games, I like the look of this. That's why also I never played it, but I would be more interested in playing something like, for as much shit as it got, I am much more interested in playing something like Sunset Overdrive than Halo. I've only played a little bit of Halo, but I would be much more interested in playing Sunset Overdrive in spite of all the memes and all that shit, just because it looks like I could jump around and have fun, and you know, and this looks like that kind of game, and I'm down for that. But I still probably won't play it. I think the art direction looks kind of bland. The sort of neon... I think that would get old pretty fast, but it looks like there's more environments than that. And the rubber ducky gun is a bit stupid, but that's okay. That's okay. It's very Ratchet and Clanky and... Welcome to the Volga. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really like the look of this. Metro is on my to-play list. I actually started it today, but I don't know if I'll carry on. I only got a few minutes into it. I gotta say, I'm gonna go on a tangent here. Hopefully none of you mind me talking about random shit. I played Dishonored recently, and then I booted up Dishonored 2, and I got past the first mission, and the performance just nosedived, right? So I updated my drivers, and it arguably went even worse, right? And then I was reading up on performance for it for other people, and apparently it's just got bad performance, right? And I don't want to play it now. It's actually runs bad enough that I don't want to play it anymore, even though I was totally down for playing it. So then I was like, well, I'm not going to play that. I just can't. I'll wait until I get, until 5 years from now when computers can run it, the abduction problem. But I'll wait for that. And then I was like, okay, so what will I play now? Well, Metro 2033 is kind of similar in some ways, it's like first person shooter and it's a bit different from other first person things. So yeah, I'll play that instead. So I go and turn that on, and there's screen tearing all over the shop, and I can't find a VSync option. Maybe I can turn it on the graphics card in particular. And I don't know, just these performance modes. So how is this game going to actually run? It looks visually incredible, but based on what little I've played, of the original, I don't know if these devs can handle this quite yet. Yeah, it's just... I mean, I actually probably would have a better time playing Dishonored 2 on console, just because of the performance. Assuming it's locked 30 FPS, I could sit far away from the TV and not feel all that judder all the time or whatever, It's like... But I really like the look of this. Metro really seems like my cup of tea, you know, where you got to get the gas mask on. They don't have one on here, though. But you got to get the mask on, and you got to, you know, it gets cracks in it, and you've got to watch your oxygen level and stuff like that. I like this. Obviously, it's over the top, and it's got all this shit bolted onto your gun and stuff. But yeah, there's the gas mask. And I really like overlays on, as long as they're not too intrusive, overlays on a first-person game can be really good, I think. Like, you know, Metroid Prime, or those little bits of cracked glass, you know? They just add something to it. You gotta get your lighter out. Yeah, I really like the look of this. This seems like my kind of shooty bang bang. I gotta stop with that. It's such a fucking stupid thing to say. But yeah, I like this. I'm looking forward to it, and more than that, I'm looking forward to the day I can actually play it long after it comes out. So, yeah. I hope the fact that it is being promoted at the Microsoft thing means it's not going to be too casualized for the console controls and all that shit, but we'll see. Kingdom Hearts. What is Kingdom Hearts? I think I know what the chat is going to answer to that one. Come on, tell me. I'm watching. What is Kingdom Hearts, guys? Nobody even knows. No. There we go. Light. Kingdom Hearts is light. Of course it is. Yeah, I don't know. I'll play it. I've heard people say that the level 1 critical mode in Kingdom Hearts 2 is quite fun, so I might give that a go at some point. I don't really have the patience for the whole menu thing anymore, you know? The up down on the menu. I don't know how much of that Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to have. God, they showed a lot in this trailer. If I was really interested in this game, I wouldn't have watched this, and I'd be glad for it. I hope nobody's spoiling it on themselves. There's a lot of stuff. This is something I'm interested in, is like, how many worlds are actually going to be a surprise by the time this game comes out? Not many, from the looks of it. You know? Ah. Yeah, you know, it's the kind of thing that oh yeah, the fucking, I don't know if you can hear it, but the sound in these trailers is really bad. It sounds like they haven't put in any sound effects or something. So you're just hearing everybody in the studio going, oh no, oh, oh, no, hurry up. Yeah, look at this shit. Like, stop. Why are all these... Who are all these people? I don't... Oh, no, stop. No, nobody watched this stream. No. Yeah. Are you winning, son? Yes, I found the Kingdom Hearts. The Mickey thing. I just find that funny. He looks so out of place there. Yeah. But, you know, I'll probably play it. Just because I played the other two when they came out. It's the kind of thing where I want to play it. I don't actually... I think if you're expecting this one to finish the story, you're probably out of luck. Because I think that because they know Kingdom Hearts is a big thing, and they're going to go, well, we could always make another one. It's the whole franchise thing. So I don't think that you're going to get a satisfying conclusion to the story. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Just always assume that they want something to go on forever and ever and ever and ever. I didn't play Sea of Thieves. Maybe it's okay. Heard bad things, but, you know, maybe it's okay. Driving through the through the forest. I like this whole shared world thing. They had that in Burnout Paradise, though. I think, didn't they? I liked that one. This has got a good sense of speed to it, you know? So, I'm sure if you're into driving, this is good. The only thing I drive is wipeout anti-grav vehicles. So, if there's not giant barriers on the side of each course, you're playing a fucking casual game. Right? If you don't come to a dead stop every time you slightly graze the side of the track. Someone says, man, I love Kingdom Hearts, but I still cringe. Blah, blah. Talking, da-da-da. Yeah, this was kind of surprising to me, yeah, because it seemed like Microsoft is moving out of getting exclusives and just becoming a platform, either on PC or as a console. So for them to buy up a bunch of studios, but I don't think I actually knew any of the studios they were buying, except this one, kind of. Yeah. Good for them, I suppose. I don't really care about Microsoft doing this, but I think at this point Sony needs the competition, you know? So I'm happy for that reason alone. And it's amazing, it only took, when did the original Xbox come out? Surely more than 10 years ago now at this point. It must be 15 years or something. And it only took them about 15 years to realize that if you want exclusive games, you have to have a first-party studio, you know? What kind of sums of money were they spending on buying temp exclusivity for games, you know? Yeah, Ninja Theory was surprising, actually. Yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of skipping around, so I missed that. Yeah, that was a surprising buy, because they're sort of more associated with Sony than anything. So we'll see. I want to play Hellblade, actually. I'm not expecting it to have amazing combat or anything, but I want to try out Hellblade at some point, so. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, I talked about this in previous years. I'm just going to skip it. Fortnite? Nah. Nope. Yeah, now, here. Right? I have no interest in Tales of Vesperia, but fair fucking play to Microsoft for showing off something that looks like anime at their conference. I was blown away by this. I think this is less about Tales of Vesperia and more about an actual message to say, you know, we're not shying away from these kinds of games. Like, I don't like the look of this game, to be honest with you, but just to think that Sony was actually developing Gravity Rush, an anime kind of looking game, but even more palatable, presumably, to a general audience, because it's less anime than this, right? You know what I mean, right? Don't pretend you don't know what I mean when I'm saying this. Gravity Rush, they were developing that first party and they never showed it at their conference, right? Did they? I don't think they even showed at any E3 conference at all. And they had Persona 5, which is exclusive, and people actually, people who normally don't give a shit about anime were actually, my impression, were actually interested in Persona 5 when that reveal happened that they were the Phantom Thieves, you know? Again, they didn't show it at the fucking conference. And I think that's disgraceful, to be honest with you. I mean, well, whatever about Persona 5, because it's not a first-party game, but Gravity Rush, man, that's just, it's out of line for them not to show that. I think that's just, it's not right that they wouldn't support their studio that way by giving it even a 1-minute clip. You know, a fucking 1-minute clip. It doesn't have to be, and here's this big game, and blah, blah, blah. It just has to be, and now another trailer. Gravity Rush plays. Done. You know? It doesn't take long. So yeah, I give fucking Microsoft a point for that, I gotta say. The Division, go in, get the weapon, tick the box, tick the box, tick the box, go and tick the box and level up. And now let's have another trailer where people talk the way they don't actually talk when they're playing games, where they say, oh, fuck off, man, will you? You haven't done that fucking quest yet? Piss off. I want someone who has fucking level 30 gear at least. Piss off, kid. You're only 29. Fuck off, come back, play it more, you know? And yeah, of course we have to go to the fucking... You haven't done this mission before? What are you talking about? I mean, everybody's done this mission. What do you mean you don't have that rifle? That's your whole point, that's what your class is. But yeah, no, people don't talk. Oh, and I have to go and I have to level up my soldier. Fucking leveling systems, man. Garbage in everything. And yeah, go and tick the box and run around, and here's the quest marker, go and do the thing, get the gas cans, but don't have fun like you might with Left 4 Dead 2. Let's see, Game Pass. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this sort of Netflix-like push. I haven't been looking at the chat, so I don't know how well that rant went down. I'm gonna assume it was okay. I don't know what's up. Like the Netflix style thing. I don't know if it would be a good or a bad thing for games overall. Jury's still out for me on that. It might be good. So it might get people to play games that they wouldn't normally touch just because they have the subscription there, you know? And they might be more okay with games being a bit shorter because they have the subscription there and they can move on to another game immediately. Nice little reel here. Let's see if we got anything good. Golf. I want to play Vermintide 2 at some point. Is it good? Chat, tell me if it's alright. Tell me should I sink some money into this in the Steam sale? Now that I have internet again, I'd kind of like to play a multiplayer game. And this seems kind of interesting to me. It's like Left 4 Dead with Warhammer, right? It's fun for a while. It's fine. Okay. I'll give it a go. Less fun than Left 4 Dead. Yeah, I kind of figured as much, but I didn't think I would miss Left 4 Dead as much as I do. I think I only put about 100 hours into each of them, but I would be, I would like a Left 4 Dead 3, or maybe I should just go back and play 2. Again, it probably still has an audience. One thing I hated about it was the matchmaking wasn't very good, so you sort of spent a lot of time waiting around. Someone remind me about that when we get to Killer Queen Black, will you? Somebody remind me about waiting when I get to that, because I need to rant about that. I need to hope that the developers are among the people watching this, so I can make a point to them, because I'm looking forward to that game. But more on that when we get to that. ID at Xbox. There's one thing. Yeah, whatever. The whole ID at Xbox brand is just trying too hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Someone looks at that and goes, "What? What? ID at Xbox?" Whereas you hear Nindies and you go, "Oh, okay, Nintendo Indies." You know, so like if you hear Nindies in the context of a Nintendo console, you understand what that means in a way you don't understand that ID at symbol Xbox means. Haven't played these. They're probably alright, but I have a backlog a mile long, and I just don't think Tomb Raider makes the cut. So moving on. Let's see, skating game. Fable or something? Fable but not Fable, or what is this again? Is it Fable? I forget. Oh, here we go. Rendered in engine and in real time. I kind of assumed just when it showed this, I don't know if Barrett ever smoked cigars in Final Fantasy, but I kind of assumed this was Final Fantasy Remake at first, just because that would be like a big thing for Microsoft to say, yes, we're also getting it, unless they already have and I forgot. So yeah, okay. Here we go. Devil May Cry 5. Well, first of all, let me say, I've long since accepted that I will never get a Devil May Cry game that has the cool factor of the original. And I know that a lot of you will disagree with me on that. But for me, they have never actually, since the original game, DMC3 is alright with me, but they have never actually nailed the cool factor of the original Devil May Cry outside of that. And I have no attachment to Nero whatsoever. I don't like the look of this new character, you know. I don't like the whole style of it, the way it's sort of a little bit rebooty-y, you know, the look of it. I like the direction on this cutscene. I think I found out afterwards it's the guy who did the cutscenes in DMC 3, 4, and Bayonetta. And I was like, that is no surprise at all. That jumping out the window move, you know, that's cool. I like the robot arm thing. You know, I think that basically what this game is going to be is it's going to be Devil May Cry 4 with an actually finished campaign that's sort of enjoyable to play the whole way through, you know? If you look at that, some of those animations are straight up Devil May Cry 4, right? And he's got Red Queen. Presumably the exact thing is still in place. He even revs it up at some point. But like, it doesn't excite me because I'm not a big fan of Devil May Cry 4. So, I just, and again, this is where I'm going to get the real hate. I don't like Uncle Dante. I think that the sort of attitude that he had in Devil May Cry 3 was fine because he was younger, and it was supposed to, it was supposed to show that he sort of was more brash and stuff when he was younger, and then, you know, Devil May Cry 4 comes out and Dante is just like so over the top. I think, see, I knew I was going to get shit for this, but I think it's hard to describe. I mean, I don't know if, I just don't get how other people don't see it the way I do, because Dante in the other games, it's like he tries hard to be cool. It's like he's trying to be cool, you know, whereas in Devil May Cry 1, he just is cool, you know. Like, he knows he's cool. He doesn't have anything to prove to anybody, and that's what I liked about him. And I've always hated his voice in 4. Again, I don't mind it in 3. 3 is fine by me, but I hate his voice in 4. I hate, like when I see Dante shows up here at the end of the trailer, I'm totally down for old man Dante. I like the idea of old man Dante. I think he looks cool, you know. But then he goes, "Woohoo! Yeah!" And I'm like, what? That's hashtag not my Dante. You know what I mean? You know, I agree with you, Turbo Button, that like the acting might be better in Devil May Cry 4, like in terms of motion capture and, you know, the actual voice actor, you know. And there's some shit lines in the original Devil May Cry, you know. Not gonna ignore that, but he was just cool. Like, to me, the moment when Dante's character is solidified for me, right, is you come across Phantom, right? And especially at that point, this whole cocky protagonist thing wasn't such a big deal, right? So you come up against Phantom, and there's this giant fucking lava spider falls through the ceiling. And in any other game, this is the part where you shit yourself. You go, oh fuck, what is this, right? But then he starts talking to Dante, and he's like, you know, blah, blah. He starts talking shit to him. Oh, you're just human. And all Dante does while he taunts him, he says, I hope you got something inside that big body of yours, right? All he does is he just taps him. Just go back and watch that cutscene. He just gives him a little tap. And that's it. That's all the fucking taunting he does. That's all the flashiness to it. He just goes, because he has nothing to prove. He has nothing. He knows he's going to destroy the shit out of Phantom. He knows he's going to wreck him without even being touched. It's just like, tap, tap, try me, you know? And the later Devil May Cry games have never caught onto that. Yeah, I mean, even the flock off Featherface one is less cool. But, you know, Griffin comes along and he's like, oh, I'm going to mess you up. And Dante just goes, flock off Featherface so you can stick around and find out the hard way. And that's it. It's like 10 words and there's no flashiness. He just stands and looks at him. Because that's it. So, no, I've never liked the new Dante. And I've accepted that I will never get that game back. I will never get another Dante like that again, but it's still sad for me. But anyway, if we detach ourselves from that, I think we can see that the gameplay here is definitely Devil May Cry 4-esque. And yeah, I expect that, you know, if you're a big fan of Devil May Cry 4, you'll probably love this game. It seems like they're gonna do it justice. We'll see. I mean, we haven't seen that much of it yet. But yeah, we still have those dialogues, that well-functioning arm, you know. I don't like Reboot Dante either. No, I don't like him. I dislike him from what little I've seen, because I never played it. I dislike him way more than the Uncle Dante. But yeah, and I have no attachment to Nero. He just seems like a superfluous character. It was like, just could have been Dante instead, you know. Yeah. I hate the song as well. I'm gonna get more shit for this, but I hate the song. It does nothing. It's exactly, again, like, and again, I realize that Devil May Cry is not what Devil May Cry 1 was anymore, you know. But the song is just, the female vocals don't work for me. Pull my devil trigger. Like, again, if you go back and you listen to the Devil May Cry 1 soundtrack, it's just like straight on, you know, it just gets the blood pumping, and it's nothing, I don't know. Yeah. I hesitate to use the word cringe, but I mean, it's halfway there for me, you know? Like, when I started hearing those lyrics, I was just like, no. So there you go. But I'm glad it's being made. I'm glad it's not Devil May Cry Reboot 2. I'm glad Dante is back, even if he's hashtag not my Dante. You know? I really miss the original Dante. I know the original voice actor was he sort of sounded like someone they pulled off the street at times, but he was just cool in a way. Like, his voice suited him. He had this sort of old man feeling to his voice that the Devil May Cry 4 Dante totally lost. And I really don't like that about him. So there you go. Itsunu seems very confident in the game, or at least he was told get out on stage and say you're confident. But yeah, he seems like he's confident in it. I do wonder whether he would prefer to be making Dragon's Dogma 2, though. I don't know. But yeah, he looks excited there. Look at him. Yeah, so I like the robot arm thing. Gameplay looks like what you'd expect. I think the one thing I would say is I kind of expected something that felt a little different. I'm not saying the whole fucking cinematic thing that Kamiya was talking about. I have no idea what he was on about with that. But I mean, I just thought it would look more different to Devil May Cry 4. But I really think that people who love Devil May Cry 4 just want a Devil May Cry 4 that they feel is a complete package. And it looks like this game is going to give that. So it's good. It's a success. There you go. I'll have to check my sub count after this stream. Right. Cuphead. I liked Cuphead a lot. I didn't put that much time into it though because I felt like there was going to be a DLC for it at some point anyway. So I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to go through and S-rank everything, I might as well wait until all the stuff is out. So I figured there was going to be a DLC. So again, a little disappointed that it's 2019, but what can you do? If that's... Oh, shit. You might want to plug in your PC. The one time... There we go. I'm actually glad for a Windows pop-up for once. But yeah, I think I used to have a very hardcore stance on DLC, and it sort of eroded over time. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because there are some DLCs nowadays that I'm into, and this would be one of them. I feel like the developers obviously poured a lot of effort and time into the original Cuphead, and so they deserve to have a DLC add-on if that's what they want to do. And I feel like Cuphead is the right game for it, where you can tack more bosses into it, and it improves the game overall. Because I wouldn't say it was too short, but there could definitely be more there. So I'm hoping that this is the kind of thing where you can play this and the DLC all in one go before going off to do the final boss. Yeah. What I'm hoping for out of this is I would be hoping for 5 or 6 bosses. Maybe more than that if I dare to hope. And I hope that most of them are regular on the ground bosses rather than the flying side scrolling ones, because yeah. What was I gonna say? I need a drink. Yeah, I didn't enjoy the side scroller ones quite so much, so. Yeah, as soon as this one comes up, I see the grass appear and I go, oh, it's a Zelda clone. You just know immediately. It's you can climb that mountain, you can cut that grass, He's even, I didn't notice that before, he's even got a green tunic on. Yeah? The green tunic? But, yeah. See, it's hard to be charitable to the game when you've got the green tunic and you've got the sort of diamondy currency, It's not doing itself any favors. And the cross on the shield as well. Jesus Christ. Just don't do that. Everybody knows it's a Zelda game anyway. It looks like a little bit of Hyperlife Drifter combat in there. Yeah, this looks good though, Got some sort of Triforce thing as well. Red, green, and blue. Yeah. It's bit on the nose. I don't know if this is enough. See, I say this looks okay, but I don't know if this will be successful at all, because I don't know if it's doing enough to stand out. Which is, obviously there's a lot of effort gone into it. It looks like it plays pretty smoothly and the graphics look nice. They have a little charm to them and all, but it's sort of blending in a bit too much, It doesn't stand out enough. So I don't know if this is actually going to be a successful game. This Microsoft one is taking a lot longer than the EA one. Let's see. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I'm not into this. the, the Death Note reveal at the end is pretty funny. How do you fight against that? He just writes your name down. I don't get it. Yeah, as someone pointed out there in the chat, another weeaboo game. Fair play. Goes, put it in. Nobody cares. See, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's saying, oh, there was too much Japanese shit in the Xbox conference. I don't like Xbox anymore. You know? So anime has gone more mainstream by the day anyway. People are, people like me who could watch anime when they were relatively young are now, unfortunately, 30 years of age. So there's a whole generation below me for whom anime is more normal for them than it was for me, you know? Oh, yeah, I was surprisingly interested in this one. I didn't play the original Dying Light. I know people said it was good, but what put this over the top for me was wheeling Chris Avellone out on stage and saying that your actions will affect the world, and then not just saying that, but then showing that it happens. So, yeah, I liked the look of this. Just it seemed like the outcome was very different depending on the decision that you made there, and maybe there's not that many of those decisions to make, but yeah. I assume he wasn't involved in the original Dying Light at all. So it's an interesting step to take, because I'm not sure. Again, I never played it, but I'm not sure anybody who played Dying Light was like, this game needs choices and a world that reacts to them. But it's a very interesting way of making the game better, right? Assuming that Dying Light was good at what it was doing, which people seem to be happy with it, then, getting a different element in there like that seems like a good way to improve the sequel without sort of sacrificing what made the original good. So yeah, it's kind of loses points for being another zombie game, but I really liked what they showed here, where there was, different things to do with the water tower. Better hope he doesn't land on anybody. Graphics are nice. I can't believe how nice graphics are these days. The whole Metro thing. Dying Light. I wonder when we're going to have the next generation coming in. Yeah, I just want to play this because I thought it was kind of cool. I wasn't expecting to be anywhere near as interested in that as I was, so. Battletoads, no footage of it, so. Yeah, I mean, genre mashups, 4K hand-drawn graphics, 3-player couch co-op, sounds good. It sounds like whoever it is that's working on this understands Battletoads, so what to do. Like, they're not going to just take the beat 'em up aspect of Battletoads and do that, because that's not what people loved about it. They loved slamming into that wall on the hoverboard over and over again. What's this? Screen goes black for a second. Someone says something dramatic. I don't play Gears of War at all, so whatever. No interest. Look, will you just go play Resident Evil 4, will you? Will you just Go on now. You haven't played it in a while. Just go back and play again. Oh yeah. Cyberpunk. This was a rewind for Gears. No, I don't care about it. Whack-a-mole or whatever. I don't care. Right, Cyberpunk. This was a cool reveal, by the way. I feel like they don't do this enough. This should be something that happens at every E3. Wait, we have one more thing to show you, you know? Everybody should be looking to do this. Save some big reveal for the end, assuming it doesn't get leaked, but, you know. The amount of effort that must go into all those screen setups and all that, just, oh. Don't even want to imagine it. Night City. Let's see it in the daytime. Yeah, it was an interesting choice to show so much of the trailer during daytime. But I gotta say, I'm in the camp that says that doesn't make it not Cyberpunk just because the sun still exists, you know? I do think that the city could be more dense and oppressive so that when it's daytime, I think that's what they were sort of lacking. When it's daytime, there's still not that much sun, you know, the sort of Kowloon walled city sort of feel. Not obviously not that extreme, but that's kind of what Cyberpunk goes for, the being boxed in, right? Being trapped by technology on all sides. You know, it's like a thematic thing to have all that stuff so densely packed around you. But I don't think that necessarily makes it not Cyberpunk. Of course, the sun still exists in a Cyberpunk setting. It'll still be daytime. If anything, and I've actually thought this before this trailer came out. If anything, Cyberpunk, you know, films and things like that, they sort of cheat a little by setting a lot of the stuff during nighttime, you know, to give you that feel of the neon and the stuff. It is all, and like, it's just not the case, you know. There's gonna be daytime, there's gonna be sun. Maybe you can come up with some convoluted reason why there is no sun, you know. For example, Shin Megami Tensei 4, which gets to have its cake and eat it because they came up with a reason why it might always be dark there. I don't want to say too much about it, but, you know. And that was the aesthetic they were going for. So they could have done that. They could have said there's fucking cloud cover all the time. I don't know. Like they did that in The Matrix. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't play the Witcher games. So I don't have that going for me as a big motivator to be interested in this. But I kind of like the look of this. Just from the trailer, it seems like they're going to explore, you know, lots of different ideas about Cyberpunk, which is the thing that makes it interesting, right? It's, you know, prostitutes and arms dealers and pool tables with little indicators on them, and it just seems like it's going to try and work the Cyberpunk angle into everything, whether that's little mini games or people bursting into flames on a space shuttle or whatever the fuck that is. It looks like they're going to try and jam as much technological, you know, exploring as many technological themes into the game as they can. And yeah, I think that's what you should be wanting them to do if you're interesting. If you are looking for an interesting Cyberpunk setting, you wanted to explore lots of different ideas, and I think that's what that trailer was getting at. So hopefully you're not somebody who's getting hung up on the sun too much. I do hope, saying that, I do hope the game gives you a way to play more so during the nighttime. You know, I hope there's some reason for that. Like, for example, if you play some kind of stealth character, presumably a lot of missions in the game will be better done at night. You know? I don't want it to be a 50-50 split, even though I recognize that makes a lot of sense. But, yeah. See, they're getting as many ideas in here as they can and into the trailer, and I like that about it. So I'm much more interested in this than I am in The Witcher. So, yeah, I like the look of it. I like the look of it. Whoa! Wonder if that was as loud for you as it was for me. I haven't been reading the chat much. It's only a little bit to my side, but it's kind of hard. I'm going to have a little move. Hopefully I don't go... I can see it a little easier now. I'm going to stop for a second. And how's everybody doing? Okay. Don't read the chat. Okay. Can't hear the video. Surely you can. Surely you can hear that. Oh, it's getting mixed with my voice, is it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's pretty low. I'll higher it up a little bit. You don't really need it, but... Okay, let's see. I didn't watch this part. They did this before, didn't they? The whole Bethesda thing. Let's show our families and all that. Yeah, okay. Well, I haven't seen that in Dishonored, so thanks for showing that for me. Bethesda, blah blah blah, blah blah. Oh yeah, what were they thinking? Why did they do this? Why did they do this, man? You know, get someone out. Yeah, yeah. I think if you're somebody. Let's face it, if you're an E3 organizer, you're obviously watching this stream to know my thoughts, right? Obviously. So, if you are someone who organizes these things, what you have to keep in mind, for as many people as there are in the audience, and maybe most of the people enjoyed this, maybe, it didn't look like it, but maybe they did. For as many people as there are in the audience that want to be entertained, there is 10 times or 100 times more people who are watching online who don't give a fuck, because it's just not the same if you're not there, you know? Okay, let's see the bored audience. Everybody wants to see the bored audience. Can you hear it now? Me on the drums. I have nothing against the guy on stage, by the way. You know, I don't know him, but yeah, okay. We're moving on. We're moving on. Yeah, the Rage 2. Somebody says they're trying very hard to give Rage 2 a personality, and I think that sums it up pretty well. This is the... I kind of want to get myself into more trouble. This is the Uncle Dante of games, is it? Oh boy. Yeah, it's like... Yeah! Rage! Remember Rage? But they're trying to... Yeah, no, I want to be charitable to it, but I got nothing. I got nothing. I think they said that did they mention, what's his name? George Miller, is that right? Did they mention him at some point? Because I was looking at this and I was thinking, it's very Mad Max Fury Road. It looks a lot like Fury Road, whereas I don't remember the original Rage looking like that. Right? Anybody else feel the same way? I don't know if it's all the mohawks and shit. Just people, from what I remember, people in the original Rage just sort of looked dirty and just post-apocalyptic, normal sort of guys. Oh, it's made by the same devs who made Mad Max. Yeah. Yeah, the original was just sort of typical post-apocalyptic thing, whereas this is like everybody's a nutcase now. I don't know. You got someone in your ear who tells you the message and you gotta go and shoot the guys and blah blah. Was that a card game or some shit? I don't know. What's that? This guy. I like this guy. Every year this guy comes out and I think, look at this guy. He likes his game and he's working. He seems happy to be there. Look at him. This guy. I'd have a beer with this guy, even though I don't really care about Elder Scrolls. I'd be like, listen, man, tell me about Elder Scrolls. Go on. You know? You obviously like the Elder Scrolls. You come on, tell me. Yeah, he... Maybe he's too nice a boss, you know? Maybe he's not pushing them hard enough. Yeah, I'm surprised how little I hear about Elder Scrolls Online, because it seemed like everybody just wanted... It seemed like everybody wanted that, and then it came out and... But I've said that before, so I'll skip over it. But I like this guy. What's this? Okay, that's the Elder Scrolls Online. Some of these things I've talked about in previous years, so there's no point in me going back over it all again. Quake Champions, I lost interest in this as soon as they showed all the power-ups, and I haven't gone back to it. I think there's a mode without them now. Is there? Maybe chat can clarify that for me. I think there's a mode where you can play it like regular Quake. I haven't bothered. Yeah. Oh, I skipped Doom, did I? Oh, I did. Oh, I thought that was Elder Scrolls for some reason. Doom. Doom Eternal. I would have preferred if they called it Eternal Doom. You know, like Final Doom. But anyway. Alright, so this is probably going to be the next most upsetting thing I'm going to say after the whole Devil May Cry 5 thing. I didn't care that much for the new Doom. I think it's fine, you know? I think it's fine. It's sort of like you go, yes, this is much better than Doom 3. It's much better. But it's not as good as Doom 1. Not as good as Doom 1. And I say that as somebody who like it's not even the same sort of game as Doom 1. Is what I mean. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same sort of gameplay. You know what I mean? I will spoil something coming up, but I've been writing some tiny little think pieces, and I've been trying to etch out my thoughts on the whole difference between Doom versus Doom. So you can look forward to that whenever that, you know, in the next 10 years, whenever that's done. But anyway, it's not the same thing. It doesn't feel like the same thing. And I say this as someone, I played Doom as a kid, right? A little bit. I actually fucking played it on the PlayStation because I didn't have a PC, right? So obviously I didn't get the right experience. And I played it on PC, you know, in the intervening years and all that. But it was only recently that I went and I said, look, I need to sit down and play the original Doom start to finish and just see how it holds up, right? And it is still a really, really good game, right? It's really good. I would happily put it on and play it again right now, start to finish. I'd have no problems. And I enjoyed it a lot more than the new Doom, just straight away. as somebody without much of a nostalgia sort of thing for Doom. So you can't hold that argument against me. I just think it's a better game than the new Doom. So this is why they come out and say Doom Eternal, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's gonna be good. Like, it's good. I mean, I'm being too harsh on the new Doom. It's good, right? It's good. It's a good game. I prefer it to a lot of first-person shooters that have come out lately. It's good, you know, and it's much better than Doom 3. But it's just it doesn't feel like Doom to me. I don't actually think it's a Doom game in that way, you know? So that's why Doom Eternal doesn't really do anything for me. I don't need another Doom 2016. I can elaborate why, but I'm writing something on it. So what I'll say is, since I've brought this up on the E3 thing, I'll make that little script I was doing a high priority, and I'll try and get my thoughts out there. So, yeah, maybe I'll be able to get that done soon. So I do have some thoughts on it, but I don't want to go into it too much because I'm gonna try and script something on it. But it's just yeah. So I'll move on. So that's why it doesn't do anything for me. I don't need another one of them. If I was going to do it, I'd probably just play Doom 2016 again. And again, I don't really hold the developers against it because it's not so far from Doom that I feel insulted by its existence or anything. I don't feel like this is an affront to what Doom is. I'm not going anywhere near that far. I just feel like it's missing. It's not quite it. And I assume that Doom Eternal, because of all the positive feedback on Doom 2016, it's because of all the positive feedback on Doom 2016, it's probably just going to be another one of them. So that's why I'm not that excited about it. I need to give this a go. I feel like I was too harsh on Quake Champions in previous year E3. Because I never played it, and I need to give it a go before writing it off. So I'm not going to say any more on this. I didn't like what they were saying about, heroes and shit like that, but I should at least do it the courtesy of playing it before shit talking it. So so I need to welcome to the welcome to the stream where I out many of my opinions. I was a bit more reserved in previous E3s, but I think before, when I was looking at the Prey before it came out, I was like, yeah, I kind of like the look of this. And then it came out, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked Prey. I think it's a really good game. I think you should go play it. I say that with a caveat, though, because I haven't gone back to play the System Shock games, and I know I need to play those before. I would never do a video on Prey. Let me put it this way. I talked a little bit before about the difference between me as Matthew and me as Matthew Matosis, and that's the difference. Is like, I would not put a Prey video out until I played at least System Shock 2, right? But I've played Bioshock and Bioshock Infinite and stuff like that, and I liked Prey more than those by a pretty significant margin. I have my problems with it. I have pretty significant problems with it, but I think that it's a great game, and I think that the Prey name does it injustice. I didn't play the original Prey. That's another thing I would have to play before doing a video on it. But the name just doesn't seem like right to me. It seems like this was a decision that was made by somebody in marketing or something like that. So yeah, no, they did more harm than good by calling it Prey. They should have called it Typhon or something, fucking Psycho Shock or something. But yeah, if you ignore that, and I agree, it's really bad for them to fucking use the name Prey. They should not have done that, okay? I'm not excusing that, because it seems like if you liked Prey, this does not represent what was good about Prey, the other Prey, right? So I don't like that about it. But you have to, because it's so different from the original, you have to just say, look, imagine it had a different name. Just try and imagine it had a different name and play it for what it is. and I liked it a lot. So this was probably one of the biggest things for me at E3. I didn't even watch the trailer. It was only after the Bethesda conference ended I realized that Mooncrash was actually out. And I bought that, and Mooncrash is very different from Prey, but I like it anyway. I think it's very different, but it's an interesting take on the rogue light genre. It's an interesting take on it, and it's got a sense of urgency to it that the original game doesn't have, which you might not like, and that's okay. But it made you play it a little differently, and I liked that about it. So what I wanted out of a Prey DLC was something that would slot seamlessly into the main game and give me a bit more to chew on there. But in retrospect, I'm okay with this, because at least this doesn't, if you don't like this, at least it doesn't shit up the main game for you. You know, it doesn't fuck it up. But I liked it. Yeah. It's very different from the main game, but again, if you approach it with an open mind, I think it's an interesting take on the roguelite. The idea that you have to, basically, without saying too much, you have to clear it with 5 different characters, and if you take an item with one character, it's not there for the next character. Although, unfortunately, they give you a very easy way around that, which is not good. So, yeah, there's problems with it, but it's good. And they patched the original Prey with some survivalist sort of options as well, which are good. I'm looking forward to doing a playthrough with them as well. They have this trauma system where you can like get a broken bone or something. You can get a broken bone, or you can get lacerations, and so you need a special item to cure that. And it's like, it strikes the right balance for me, where it adds just enough without being needlessly convoluted or anything. It's just, you have to sacrifice more inventory space because of it. So yeah, it's a good system. I'm looking forward to playing the main game again with that turned on. I'll probably turn the oxygen thing on again. Yeah, Wolfenstein, I'm going to skip that as well. I never finished whatever the first new Wolfenstein was. The New Order? Young Blood was the expansion. Yeah, the New Order. I never finished it, so whatever. Or having a meme here. Yeah, having a meme. Fallout 76, talked about that already in the Microsoft thing, if you are joining us late. I'm going to skip that. Let's see. More gameplay, blah, blah, blah. I feel like they're putting a lot of effort into this game, and it, could be good. Who knows, I might even give it a go. I don't think I even saw this. Okay. I don't think I was paying attention when this was on. So I saw the end of this conference, and I saw the Fallout 76 bit, but... Except... you couldn't actually do that, could you? Because she's holding a portrait, and you'd have to hold it landscape, and that would kind of give away that you're doing something on your phone you're not supposed to. Also, you're in a meeting. So... Starfield. And also... Elden Scrolls. The Elden Scrolls 6. So... This is something I hate. Starfield could be good. The Elder Scrolls 6 could be good. I don't know. The Bethesda games are just not my thing. I'm not really into them. So, why did this need to be announced? Okay, so to begin with, maybe Starfield, you want something at your E3. You want to say, look, we got something cool coming. Here it is. It's Starfield. It's a new IP. The first one we've done in forever. Because we just stick Fallout on everything. And you go, okay, yeah, now there's no footage. It's presumably going to be in development for a long time. And then as if that's not enough, oh, also Elder Scrolls. See, the thing about this, Death Stranding is one thing. Now, Death Stranding was announced too early for me, right? But Death Stranding is one thing where Kojima moved to a new studio and they wanted to say he's working on something, but not only is he working on something, here's the thing. So we have something concrete to show you, right? Elder Scrolls 6, the thing is, everybody knew this was being made, right? Everybody knew this was already going to be made. It doesn't, and basically it looks like they've only started development on it, if that. It's in pre-production or something. So there is no need to announce this. This could be announced 6 months before it came out, like they did with, I think they did that with Fallout 4. It's just, there's no need for it. You know, people will buy the Elder Scrolls game when it comes out. This actually stands more to hurt them, I think, because by the time this comes out, people will be going, oh yeah, didn't they announce that ages ago? Oh yeah, yeah. Whereas if you announce it 6 months beforehand, everybody goes, oh shit, oh man, looking forward to that. And that's a time frame where you can maintain interest. You can maintain interest in something, you know. People giving out that I said concrete for Death Stranding. Yeah, okay, I get it, but it was a trailer and it was, here's the fucking beach with all the Stranding things, and it has a name, and that name is Death Stranding. You know what I mean? I'm not defending. Again, I also don't think that one should have been revealed as early as it was. Nowhere close to it. But it makes more sense to me than this, where anybody with a functioning brain can assume Bethesda will make another Elder Scrolls game at some point in the future. It doesn't need to be said. Does not need to be said. So I think this stands to hurt them more than help them. It's almost like these companies take E3 a bit too seriously almost, you know? It's weird. They sort of wobble on, sometimes they show nothing and sometimes they show something just to have something. You don't need to. You don't need to have that there. It doesn't need to be there yet, you know? If it's not at E3, it's okay. You had Starfield anyway, and even that was just a logo. So it didn't need to be said. Anyway, I'm going to move on. We're already nearly 2 hours in, and we still have several shows to go. I'm going to move the PC gaming one up a bit. I think that was around there, chronologically. Right, I didn't actually watch the Square Enix one. This is my first time seeing any of this. It's only a half an hour long, so I'm not going to skip it. Tomb Raider. Okay. Whoa, we're flying along. What's this? Final Fantasy 14? Is it? That's my guess. The most see, because I never do it live. The most entertaining part of E3 for me is guessing what the game is before it comes up, you know? I don't know, is it? Oh, sorry, I looked away for a second. I was busy there for a sec. What is it? Yeah, it's Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. There we go. Guess the game before it comes up. Captain Hero. Or whatever it was. Captain Spirit. No. I like how wacky this is. I mean, it's the kind of thing where people say, don't do this. Please, like, somebody probably said, please don't do this. Please don't do this. It won't sell. Please, no, come up with something else. Not the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit, please. No, don't do it. No. And then you go, look, we're doing it. Captain Spirit. So I respect them for that, you know? It's Heart of Darkness. All right. The kid's gonna get his spine broke, pulled into holes and chomped on and fall off cliffs. Dragon Quest. Okay. I'm not into Dragon Quest, but I got nothing against it. it seems like they've done a very good job at translating Dragon Quest into 3D. Maybe the style is too cartoony for some people, I don't know. But it seems like it's nice, polished, if standard JRPG game, which is probably what people want out of Dragon Quest anyway. So, what the hell is happening? Is somebody talking in the background in the stream? Somebody's talking about... Somebody's talking... There's some kind of stream fuck up there. You probably can't hear it on my version, but if you go listen to the video. Yeah, I liked this trailer, kind of. I mean, I don't like trailers without gameplay, but it was kind of cool. I actually went through it and paused and looked at all the lore. It does seem a little generic, but it seems sort of dark fantasy. It seems like a nice mix of high fantasy and dark fantasy, where mankind is getting fucked over constantly and fucking themselves over and stuff. And it's an interesting trailer. It's not like any other trailer I've seen, I think, where they just go through the lore of the world like that. It's kind of interesting. Why is everybody saying I'm going crazy? What's up? Hang on. Oh, I'm not. That's our line, guys. Yeah, I like that. Some goddess comes down to help them and then just turns on them. That's pretty bleak. I like how bleak that is. That's pretty cool. But, so, presumably this is some kind of co-op, like Dragon's Crown or Dragon's Dogma or Gauntlet. It's Gauntlet. Maybe it is. You know, with all them floors, look at all that space. Maybe it's some sort of procedurally generated Gauntlet-like game with I'm a senile boomer. But yeah, maybe it's what I would like it for is to be some kind of procedurally generated Gauntlet style thing, but without too much get all the procedurally generated loot shit, you know. Sort of trim the fat and just have interesting levels that you can do with your friends. If it's not procedurally generated, I won't cry about that, but I just think that maybe that's where the potential in this idea lies more. The original Gauntlet had so many levels, it was like it was procedurally generated anyway. Because, yeah, I'm not even sure it had an end. You just went through it forever. And you skipped ahead. If you found little portals, you skipped ahead a certain amount of levels, and it felt very different every time you played it. So I would kind of like for a game to recapture that, but I'm reading way too much into that. The developers of this might not have even played Gauntlet, you know? So, yeah. Xbox. Did they show that at the Microsoft thing? I think they did. Which is another weeaboo game. Octopath Traveler is a game I wish I liked. It's I know I harp on about this too much, but I got someone else into Shin Megami Tensei, one of my viewers, because I talk about it and I evangelize for Shin Megami Tensei, and they sent me a message somewhere thanking me, saying, "Oh, you killed every other JRPG for me," and that's just what happened for me too. If this came out years ago, I would probably love this. I think there's probably a lot to love about this game. I played some of the demo, and the combat system is kind of interesting. It's more interesting than just standard JRPG fare, because you've got this little boost thing that you can do, where you can boost your attack, and the question is, do you boost this turn or maybe next turn, or what do you do, you know? And I like the whole 8 character thing. The fact that they all have different skill they can use out in the world is pretty cool. But I don't know, it seems very much like it's taking some cues from... It's almost like it's taking cues from Western RPGs a little bit, where like that skill thing where you have a skill... I don't know, maybe the thief has a lockpick skill or something, and it even has a chance to fail, I think. So you could, like... I only played the scholar guy, and when I got to another town, it said this thing has a chance to fail, which is very much in line with something like Fallout or something, you know? So it's kind of like it's walking a line between that. It's trying to integrate some of that into a standard JRPG template, and it seems like it's doing an okay job at that, but it doesn't seem like it's really deeply doing either thing, you know? Like, what I would like most out of a JRPG is an interesting setting with interesting weird shit going on, you know? I feel like they step outside the box more than Western developers in that regard, and that's what they do well. Like, even something like Persona 5, even though it's contemporary, it goes totally outlandish and weird and interesting, you know, when all the Phantom Thief stuff comes into play, and that's cool, you know? And then, of course, you've got Shin Megami Tensei, which has some really cool settings, and you got all the demons and shit. So, of course, Shin Megami Tensei does some things poorly, you know, it's pretty linear, and you don't really have that much choice in it and all that, but it does those things well, and I'm just not sure what this game really does well. And I have to say, I'm not all that interested in the story. From what I played of the Scholar guy, just the story just doesn't have much weight to it, you know? And it's not... Yeah, it's not... So I don't know. I wish I liked it, though. I support its development. I think it looks... Like, I'm way more interested in playing this than Final Fantasy 15 or anything like that. You know, basically anything Square has put out in the last 5 years that I can think of. And I hope that they continue to make more small scale games like this. I really like this idea of going back and making maybe making an RPG with that sort of style, but with a proper, you know, experienced development team. I don't know what the development team is, but with a development team behind it with a decent budget, and seeing how far it can be pushed now in the modern day, now that it's much easier to create a game like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, so hopefully that doesn't come across too harsh, because I'm quite happy that they're making something like this. I don't know. I find that the boss is very weird as well. It's weird how they're giant and you're just these little chibi pixel people. Strange. But yeah. Just causes of the open world games that they have, like Assassin's Creed or The Division or whatever, just cause it be higher on my list of ones that I want to get around to, but I still haven't yet. Yeah, I like the look of this. Attaching balloons to cars, and that's fun. That's good. Let's see, what's this one? Let's guess the game again. Remember Me. No. This is live action? This is live action? Is this Devil May Cry 5? What is this? He can't hear, can he? I didn't see this. I'm gonna watch this because I didn't watch this trailer. Didn't watch this whole conference, actually. Chill out with me and have a real time watch for a minute, because I have to drink my tea anyway. Oh, that combat. Huh. Huh. I like the idea of playing a game as somebody who's deaf or something. That's good. Could be interesting. Some of my favorite parts in Dead Space are the bits where you're outside the ship and they actually did the silence in space thing. I love silence in space. I love that. It's just good. Just do that. If you're in space, just take advantage of what makes space and make it silent, you know? Don't shoehorn things that are not space into space, because space is more interesting by itself. Kingdom Hearts, we talked about that before. Microsoft, was it? I don't know. Skip it. That's just... Light or darkness? I know. I'd want to know. Okay. Keychain. Oh, this. Oh my god. Yes. I popped on the Ubisoft stream, walked out of the room. I walked out of the room, right, before the stream started. I came back while it was in the middle of this, and I was just like, I just sat down in the chair and I put my head in my hands. I just went, this is E3. I have no words. I want to watch to the end of this, assuming it doesn't go on too long, because I kind of blanked out. I kind of zoned out until the press conference started. I don't know what connection this had to the press conference, if anything. Is it supposed to tie into Beyond Good and Evil in some way or something? And they all come up on stage. Oh, okay, so there's something coming this October. What is it? Just Dance. Oh, okay. Just Dance. Beyond Good and Evil is another game on the backlog. I got a backlog a mile long. This feels like the developers are biting off more than they can chew. My alarm bells are ringing for me on this one. I can't imagine Ubisoft is pumping that much money into this game. So I'm worried about this, even though I don't know anything about it. Really, I don't know much about the original Beyond Good and Evil. It just seems like there's too much going on here, you know? So I don't know. I like the look of flying the thing around, you know? Why don't they show the fucking screen during that? Annoying. Yeah, I was curious how this was gonna work, but apparently they say their people will be paid for their efforts going into this, because I was just thinking there's more ways than ever for people to get paid for doing stuff online, you know, like Patreon. So if you're an artist and you know you're good at what you do, you could just be doing stuff and getting, you know, money on Patreon, assuming that you've promoted yourself and you're doing good work and all that. So my question is, in the modern landscape, why would you do this for Beyond Good and Evil 2? Apart from obviously if you love the game, you know, and obviously some people will do it. And I'm not somebody who cares that much about money, you know. I don't think things are better when they're detached from money. I was pretty much saying that yesterday on the stream. But at the same time, when a big company is doing this, it's sort of like, yeah, okay. But yes, as somebody is saying in the chat, to be fair to them, they said that there will be some sort of compensation on this. So I don't know what that's going to be, but and if people are happy to do it, why not, you know? Apparently it's some kind of platform where you genuinely collaborate. You get some sort of spec and then you have to make it, and they can give feedback, and other people can give feedback and tweak it and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem that bad to me, but it'd be interesting. Someone screaming they nailed it there on the audio. They nailed it. I don't know what that is. Rainbow Six or something? I'm not interested in that. Trials. This guy. I like this guy as well. He's got a great accent. I've never played a Trials game, but I'd be into it. It's basically Excitebike though, right? You know? This is Excite Bike. But actually new. And obviously there's a lot of cool stuff in it. I don't want to downplay it. But yeah, I like this trailer. This was a good trailer. See, a lot of games don't do this or wouldn't show this in a trailer. Just the idea of you completely failing at the game being fun in its own way. And that's great. Because if you win, you have fun and you feel good and accomplished about completing a difficult level. But if you fail, you have fun watching a ragdoll. And that's great. You know, ideally, or maybe, no, I wouldn't say ideally, but you know, a lot of other games could benefit from having their failure be as fun as it looks in this game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like the look of it. You can move the ragdoll a bit. That's good. I hope those screams are in the game as well. They're very over the top and fun. I move away from the mic to cough. Alright. Is this The Division? Yeah. Da-da-da. Again, the Bang Bang Shooty game starts off with something that's not Bang Bang Shooty. Just so you know. Also, I found this trailer kind of funny because she sends out a message that says help. And a kid like this, help for her is probably like, they took my dolly away. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Help. They took my dolly away. They sent me to bed. You know? Let's see. Is this still The Division? Yeah. At this point, I basically auto-ignore games that have all that leveling and checklist and all that shit in it. So, this is okay. You know, I didn't play Mario Rabbids, but apparently it's good. It seems like it has less RNG than other tactical games, which is a big plus in my book. So this was a decent use of the whole orchestral thing, because at least they're playing a trailer at the same time, you know? It is only a CG trailer, but I noticed that you don't see any of the Mario characters in this trailer, which is interesting. Is it like sort of like a separate thing altogether, or what? I don't know. Yeah, I might try this game at some point because a lot of people say it's great, so. Pirate games are a big thing now. At least they've spun this off from Assassin's Creed. That's the thing. That should have happened in the first place. It's gonna be alright. It looks like a game. It looks a bit sluggish and like the realism might work against it, but I think a lot of people will enjoy this one. I don't really have much against it. Yeah. I think it probably gets old faster than you think it will, you know? But at least it's not another first-person shooter. I like the idea of controlling a boat and playing a multiplayer game with a boat. This is something I'm going to return to later. Again, talking about Killer Queen Black. Hopefully I'll mention that when I get to that. But I would like to see more online games that are just different in this way. Like action and stuff, not shooting all the time. So I don't think I'll play this myself, but I'm glad that they're doing it. It's kind of the E3 stream in general, isn't it? Guys, I have a million things to play, so I'm going to play something else, but good luck with it. I don't know. I feel like I'm being too condescending, but it is hard. I unfortunately can't feign that I am incredibly interested in this game. I'm just glad it's not Assassin's Creed. I'm glad it's its own thing, that they're not beholden to the Assassin's Creed angle on it anymore. You know? So I do want to give it points. It's just... this game, yeah. Elijah Wood seems like such a cool dude. Again, here's another dude I'd love to have a beer with, you know? He seems like he's just in, and he's in things and does things that he's No! I love that. He even handled the teleprompter slip up really well. I gotta go back and do that again. I'm not picking on him. I need to show this again because it's really great. He handles this really well. That's what I like about it. He's yeah. Where is it?
We're also avid gamers, and the opportunity to partner with Ubisoft was something we had to be a part of.
And my name is Benoit Che, game director on Transference. Together, we combine the storytelling techniques of film with the interactivity of video games, enabling us to create this unique, deeply immersive world with a dark and unsettling narrative.
Have you ever dreamed of entering someone else's consciousness, exploring their darkest thoughts and most intimate secrets? In Transference, with Transference, we're bringing a...
That's great. That's so great. But yeah, I mean, I don't normally care about when they wheel the celebrity out on stage, but I like Elijah. He seems like a down-to-earth guy. He seems like he's in things that he actually likes, you know what I mean? And that goes a pretty far away with me. Viggo Mortensen seems like such a bro as well, based on the stuff you hear about him, like refusing to be in The Hobbit because Aragorn wasn't in The Hobbit. So yeah, I wish I was more interested in this than I am, you know? That's the thing. I don't have a VR headset, so that's at patreon.com/MatthewMitosis for the VR headset. But I don't have a VR headset. I actually don't know if I would even buy one if I had the money for one, because there's not that much there, you know? There's not that much to it. I don't know if I would play this even if I had a VR thing. So yeah, but it's I hope it does. I hope it's good. I do hope it's good, you know? It's kind of interesting. The fucked up thing, I think is he transferring his memories into his child or something? Because that could be pretty fucked up. That could be interesting, you know? So, who knows where they're going to go with that? It could be good. Starlink. Yeah, no. Again, this is the kind of thing. Always happy to see Miyamoto. But Miyamoto has the most exaggerated, amazing smile. There's the way his eyes crinkle in and his face just sort of contorts into this big... He's the happy mask salesman, you know? But, this does nothing for me. Put Star Fox in your game. No, I don't care. I actually prefer when things stay separate. This is something I hate about, and it's a big problem in modern games. I know you can ignore it in a lot of games, but games, to me anyway, are not better when you just stick something from another game in it. It doesn't make it. It doesn't make it better, you know. Like Prey, for example, in the Mooncrash DLC, you can get like operators that have a Dishonored skin on them, and it's just it's fucking somebody's face, or it's got the word Dishonored on it, or like the Elder Scrolls. It doesn't make the game better. It doesn't make it better. And I think like you can do this sort of stuff tastefully, like in Prey, the Fatal Fortress things in it. You know, that's a nice, tasteful little reference, you know, because it's not so on the nose that you get it immediately, or like it takes you out of the game or anything. But when you go and you just stick something else in the game, it doesn't make it better to me. And I only hope that I don't, like, for example, I haven't replayed Breath of the Wild yet, because I wanted to give it a nice long break between replays, because I don't think they wanted you to just replay it again immediately. So, yeah, well, like, you're saying Kamiya in The Wonderful 101. Again, I don't actually like that much. I'm okay with Wonder Director, because, again, it doesn't actually say this is Hideki Kamiya. You know, it doesn't. And for all we know, he could exist in that world. You know what I mean? But then you get Bayonetta and Rodan and thing. I don't like that so much. I'm much more okay with Pose Man. You know, that's the sort of thing where it's like, I get it, but it's not really him, you know? He's some mysterious guy in the Wonderful 101 lore, you know? So actually, if they took Bayonetta and Jean and Rodan out of the Wonderful 101, I wouldn't really care, other than whatever you lose by, in terms of gameplay, by extracting them out of the game. I actually wouldn't care. So I don't think that games are better when they have this crossover stuff. Yeah, what was I talking about? I don't know. I was talking about Prey, and then, yeah, anyway, I just don't like this stuff. Oh yeah, the Breath of the Wild. I haven't played Breath of the Wild again since I finished it, because like I said, I think that you should have a long breather between playing that game again. But I've since bought the DLC, obviously, and you get the thing. What is it? You get the Switch T-shirt. I'm a bit addled now at this point. You get the Switch T-shirt, and if I get that, oh, and the fucking Majora's Mask as well. Oh man, you just can wander out and get Majora's Mask in a crate at the start of the game. That's not good, man. That's not good. So you can guarantee, and I don't even want that stuff in my game. I want a tick box to turn all that shit off. Because it's a whole package deal. You buy the DLC and you get that whether you want it or not. I don't even want to open my menu and see the Switch T-shirt. I don't want that, you know? So, I hope you can sell that stuff. It doesn't improve the game. Why does putting Link in a Switch T-shirt improve the game? What does that, like, it does, what do you gain by doing that? I don't get it. Because you're such a fanboy of the Nintendo Switch, you have to advertise the Switch in the game that you're playing on the Switch. Like that. Link has a Switch, presumably. You gain money, yeah, that's the right answer. Money. I hate it. I hate that stuff. So this Star Fox thing does nothing for me. My tea is going cold now. It does nothing for me. So, yeah.
And so for me, this comment.
Getting tired now. Yeah, no interest. Just don't give a fuck now. No interest. The crew. No interest. I hate as well. Again, you know, maybe it's what everybody else likes, right? But I'm going to go on another completely tangential rant. I did one earlier. I'm going to do another one, right? And again, it actually revolves around Dishonored 2, right? What happened to me today with Dishonored 2? I got very grumpy today over this, right? I was a very grumpy man. I hate the way everything is some sort of social experience now, because I'm not into that. I just want to sit in a dark room and play a game, right? And Did I say Rangental Tant? No, I didn't. I said Tangential Rant, right? I hate the way everything is a social experience. So, for example, if you're into racing games, based on this, The Crew, and the other one that was shown earlier, you're now having that forced on you to a pretty significant degree, right? If you're into racing games. Maybe Forza doesn't have it. I don't know. But no, Dishonored 2 is not a social experience. I'll get to that in a second. But, right, so, earlier today, right? So again, that's a concern about racing games. If I was into racing games, I wouldn't want this shit in my racing games so much. You know, maybe one game, it's fine. You want a game that does that, where you can drive around and find other people, and that's the game that does that. But you also want the game where you can just play, and it's not, you know, share with your friend. Everything is share with your friends and have a stream and take a picture and take a screenshot and take fucking... So anyway, I hadn't updated my graphics drivers in 2 years, right? Before I tried playing Dishonored 2, right? And so I went, and it was running poorly, as I said before. So I was like, I better upgrade my graphics drivers. So I go on, download the new ones, and I didn't get GeForce Experience because I don't want it, right? But it actually seemed to uninstall the version of GeForce Experience that I had or something. I don't know. Anyway, I get the drivers on. And I think, okay, Dishonored 2, surely it will run much better now. It didn't. If anything, I think it actually ran a bit worse, right? But forget that, right? That's not necessarily NVIDIA's fault, right? But then I go to boot up the game, and I get something I didn't get before. What do I get? Right when I boot up the game, a little pop-up comes up in the top left, and it says, Ansel can be triggered by pressing Alt F2. For my first immediate, and it's obviously an NVIDIA thing, it's got the little green bar on it. And my first reaction is, what the fuck is Ansel? That does not explain anything to me, right? What the fuck is Ansel, right? Apparently it's some 3D screenshot thing you can do, right? Where you can take a 3D screenshot. I don't want a fucking pop-up, right? Pop-ups are the worst thing to me. I want a game on my screen with no pop-up. I don't want all that social shit popping up on my screen. So I go, right, well, I better go on to GeForce Experience and turn this off then, right? Yeah, share your boring clips, right? So I go on and I have to download GeForce Experience to get it to come up again. So I go in, and the new version requires you to fucking log in. So I can't even turn that prompt off until I sign in. And I'm sure as shit not getting an account. So I had to go and look up a way to bypass the account thing. And all the ways are outdated. I looked up every version I could, and they're all outdated. The latest version of GeForce seems to have a new thing you have to change. And so now anytime I boot up a game that supports Ansel, I will have a little Ansel pop-up come up in the top left corner of the screen to remind me, you can share a screenshot of this game. And actually, when I went on to download GeForce Experience, it had something about... in the latest version, something about GIFs, and you can easily add text to GIFs for making memes. And I lost it at that point, man. You know, that's what this is what we all want to do when we play games. We gotta make a meme. You know, oh look, I killed the guy. What a meme this was. Hang on, let me tab out of the game and make a fucking meme out of it, because that's the way I'll enjoy the game best. Is if I make a meme and get a bunch of likes out of it. You know, that's the enjoyment of the game, is when you make a fucking GIF meme, tack some shitty text on it, and get out. You know, that's everything's because I don't know, because they get data and they can sell it on you, and they can sell you loot boxes and shit. There you go. What a gulf there is between this channel and the main channel, right? Why do I even bother trying to be so put together? When I just lose it on here, because it gets bottled up. That's the problem. You know what I mean? But you know, go on, have a meme. NVIDIA wants you to have a meme. Turn this into a meme now, right? Make a meme of that, right? You know, but you bling, you killed the Colossus, 50 points. Well done, bling. The bigger they are, bling. You know. Achilles heel, bling, you know, like, Probably fucking Achilles' heel probably is a fucking trophy in the Shadow of the Colossus remake or something, is it? I don't know. I can't stand it. The pop-ups. It's now not only do you have the Steam pop-ups, now you have the Nvidia pop-ups, and then probably if you're playing another game like an Ubisoft game, you're gonna have Ubisoft pop-ups as well from Uplay. So you have the threat of 3 different pop-up things that you have to disable. And you can fuck off, Nvidia. I'm not making an account. I will bypass that shit. Fuck off. I'm actually thinking of never buying an Nvidia card again over that login shit. That's fucked up. Fucking pop-ups. Now everything's a social thing. You know, the crew. Get your crew together and have a drive. What if I just want to have a drive? You know? Just want to have a drive. I don't want to have a crew. It's not the crew's fault. I suppose it's not the crew's fault. No one game can be blamed for it, you know? Yeah. Your memes end here. Your memes end here, Nvidia. A grumpy man sometimes. I get very grumpy. Assassin's Creed. You wanted another Assassin's Creed, right? Da da da. You know, I don't mind if developers want to have female protagonists in their games, obviously. But I gotta wonder, this desire to cater to everybody perfectly, the amount of extra work this is creating does not seem worth it. I mean, you can have female protagonists in some games and male protagonists in other games, and I think that's fine. They have to have a separate dialogue for both the male and female versions, and that does not seem worth it for me. I mean, if I was making this game, I'd pick one or the other. It's just, the effort is not worth it. So yeah. But Assassin's Creed, another Assassin's Creed game, you know. Tick box. Tick all the boxes. There you go. They said female was canon, so they should have just went with that. Yeah. Especially if you're going to come out and say one of them is canon. Why not just make it a woman? I didn't actually stream the PC gaming show last year. So I'll have a look at this. They have a question and answer thing? What? This seems okay. It's sort of like, looks like multiplayer Factorio, right? That's the impression I'm getting from it. Multiplayer 3D Factorio. Am I right in thinking that? Yeah, it looks okay. I don't know. I probably won't play it. There'll be a new Zachtronics game by that point, and I'll just play that instead. I only saw this one earlier when I was looking through games to find. I was trying to find games that weren't shown that looked good, weren't shown at any of the things that look good. So yeah, I want to watch the trailer for this one. It sort of looks like a visual novel-esque sort of thing. The thing I don't get is, if everything is this futuristic, why do you even need a driver in the car in the first place? Yeah, I don't like the art. But that's the thing I don't get. This whole premise seems really flawed just from the beginning. Self-driving cars are coming. You know, people are working on them right now. Apparently they already have a lower failure rate than humans. Just they probably can't go on the motorway. They might not be able to navigate small city streets if they're a truck. But otherwise, I don't know. So yeah, it seems like a very flawed premise to me. What is this? This is like Just Cause, right? Mavericks. Okay. I didn't see this either. I have no idea what this is. I don't know. I assume this is sort of Myst-like, where, you know, you're going around just talking. Well, you don't talk to people in Myst, and that's kind of my point. Is I just don't know how convincing all those NPCs are going to be, and it seems like the game might hinge on that. So I don't know. Paring things back. Sorry. Paring things back so that you're, you know, not interacting with NPCs all the time is something you probably want to do if you're a small team. Even big teams often don't get it right, you know? So I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time, so explore thousands of planets. Oh. Huh. This looks a bit rough, but I like the idea. Seems nice and arcadey for what it is. It's not trying to be it's not trying to be realistic or anything like that. It's just arcadey sort of thing. Whoa, were the old Star Control games like that? I don't actually know, so. What's this one? Hunt. I don't know, I'm gonna skip it. What's this? This could be okay. I have no idea what it is, but no idea what this is either. What am I looking at? I don't know. Puyo Puyo Tetris. What the fuck? Yakuza. This is the Yakuza game, right? Oh, there's Yakuza. Yakuza, so this is a Sega show reel. Done with that. Seems like there's a lot of stuff here. What is this? Killing floor. Huh. Okay. What a great stream this is. Matthew Matosis casually clicks through the PC gaming show and says, huh, Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Huh? I kind of like the contrast there between the two settings, but meh. This seemed like it could have been a great idea, but I don't know if the execution lives up to it. Apparently it's not that good. Someone should just make a rip-off Jurassic Park thing. What was this? This seemed kind of interesting if I remember right. Because you're going around repairing things. Oh yeah, because it's a VR thing. Yeah, it looks like a VR game that's fully fleshed out in the way that you would want it to be. Oculus exclusive, is it? I'd say if you have a VR headset, you're probably interested in this one, right? Because, you know, it looks well fleshed out from what they've shown of it, so it seems like developers are getting over the whole motion sickness thing, whether it's just people are getting used to it or maybe it's the arms help center you in the world or something, I don't know, but the fact that you're playing as a robot maybe. Night Call. I probably should move through this pretty quick because I didn't watch most of this stuff, so I don't really have an opinion on it. Let's see if there's anything interesting that I should go on to. Oh, 2 Point Hospital. I'm interested in this. I feel like I don't really like the style they've gone for. This seems, the UI in particular seems way too kiddie looking. You know, like it's a children's game or something. And it seems like, see, the big selling point for Theme Hospital really is that it's charming. You know, it's funny and it's just nice to look at, and you know, that's what it has going for it, really, and it just doesn't really capture it for me, so I'm worried about this game. I really want a successor to Theme Hospital. It's one of my favorite games of those types, just because it was so charming and funny and interesting in that way, you know? But this isn't really doing it for me. The style seems kind of generic and too, I don't know. But if they have, hopefully they have some interesting diseases in it that are kind of funny to deal with, and Diagnosis Turtle Head. So yeah, you know, I like that they're coming up with new diseases to deal with, and this is kind of fun. Yeah, it's okay. It's just something about it just seems sort of generic and almost unlikable. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about it that makes me want to not like it. Whereas with the original Theme Hospital, I didn't get that at all. So it's hard to say what it is, though. Wow. But yeah, I'm supporting them in this. I want to see a good Theme Hospital successor, and I hope that this will be it. I hope when I play it, it sort of clicks into place for me. We'll see. It's probably going to be more... looking at it, it looks like it might already be more fleshed out than Theme Hospital was. There might be more rooms and more things to do. The simulation itself will probably have a bit more depth to it because they've moved on a bit, and Battle Royale, blah, blah. I liked this trailer. This was kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know how good the game will be. Yeah, the people left behind after the rapture or something. There you go. Hitman. We need to get around to that. Need to get around to the Hitmans. So I heard this was a disaster. I tuned in late to this. But then they played the Last of Us trailer and there was like a big intermission. And I was just wondering, what the fuck? Why do you need an intermission in the middle of your show? Do you not realize how bad this is? How long is the intermission? It is about 10 minutes long. So, yeah. Why do this? Again, these people need to keep in mind that for the number of people that are there and will have a positive experience being in this nice room, the number of people who are sitting at home getting angry about the intermission far outweighs that, you know? Of course, afterwards you can always skip past it, but people like to watch the stream live, so... yeah. It's not worth this. This is a bad idea. It had a musical intro as well. I missed all this. I kind of came in when the gameplay started on The Last of Us. They did another one for Ghost of Tsushima, didn't they? So, looks like we're going to be playing as Ellie this time around, as expected. I didn't play the DLC, so this is kind of my first real exposure to her being gay or bi or whatever. I'm hoping that they will touch upon the problems that this raises. Because what I like about The Last of Us is that it tries to be grounded in reality to a large degree. And if it came out that she was immune, but also gay, and thus not incapable, but unwilling to have a child, you know, that could be a big problem for some people, you know? So, and I don't know how dark this game is going to go. I want it to be upsettingly dark. I know that some people will never be happy with that, but it looks like they are definitely keeping the brutal violence that I liked from the original game. And I think that, you know, if we want to have Ellie be gay in this world and that to be a known fact about her, if it comes out that she's immune, some people are going to be very unhappy that she's not going to be having children, you know, and may want to. I'm trying to phrase this tastefully, but you know, I can easily envision people who would want to correct that, no matter what means they had to take to do that, right? Even if we're talking about a turkey baster, let's say, right? And again, I know that's a very weird subject and awful thing to broach, but if people want games to be taken seriously, they have to be willing to touch very dark topics, right? You know? If it makes sense. I'm not saying you have to go out of your way to do that, but I kind of hope they don't gloss over that entirely. So, yeah. So, there you go. You know where I stand on this. But that's one thing I like about The Last of Us. Even if they don't do that, I'll give them credit for having incredibly brutal violence in it, which is great. Like this guy's entrails hanging out and stuff. I want people to be upset that this game is as dark as it is. You know? Like, I saw something in The Division. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was something in The Division trailer which was like, life is really bad because X. And I was like, these people have no imagination. If the apocalypse really happens and you really have these roving gangs, life is going to be much worse than it looked like in the Division trailer. You know? Possibly, anyway. I don't know. Maybe I just have no faith in humanity, you know? But it seems like a lot of games aren't willing to go to those places. And if I trust and hope that anyone is willing to do it based on what they've done with the violence in these games, I hope that Naughty Dog are willing to do that. I'm not saying I actually want to see anything bad to happen to Ellie. I just want to have that sort of threat happen. You know what I mean? So I want to have like I said, I think I sum it up. I want the game to be upsettingly dark. I want people to play the game and come out the other end and say, Jesus Christ. You know? I don't know if they're willing to go that as far as I've said, but I think they will have at least a lot of that in it. Obviously, the animation in this trailer is brilliant. You know, it makes you wonder how scripted it is. I think it is. Obviously, whoever is playing this has played it a lot, and has sort of gotten this part down to a T. But yeah, I think that this might be genuine. I don't think that they might be putting it on. I hope that they're making improvements to the AI. I like that she doesn't have a partner with her, because one of my biggest problems with the original was how your partners cheated during the stealth sequences. And I like the look of this, you know. I think The Last of Us has a really nice blend of stealth and shooting, and it seems like they're keeping that. The environments look brilliant, and yeah, I like the look of this. I'm definitely going to play it whenever it comes out. The tall grass is a little bit contrived, you know. It's a little bit, but it makes for a nice gameplay element, so you got to forgive them on that. It's a little bit too lenient, I think, considering how grounded the rest of the game is a lot of the time. The tall grass thing is a little bit too lenient, but again, it makes for such a clear gameplay element to interact with that you kind of want to forgive it for that. Yeah, I'm curious to what degree you'll be able to do this stuff in the trailer. I like that you can climb under the car. Very Metal Gear, you know. I like that this person actually investigates under the car. The car doesn't work. You know, hopefully the AI is as clever as it is in this video. And I really like how smoothly she traverses the environment. Like, for example, there's a bit later on where she sort of dives in between two bookcases to come around, to circle around on someone. Well, there's that bit there, for example. And I think this is a double-edged sword, because if it works as well as it, like if this is in the game and works the way they are showing it to here, it'll be great. It'll be a nice step up from the original, and you know, you can go through there. Although the original sort of avoided that problem by not having those little gaps in the first place, right? The original just wouldn't have that gap there because they wouldn't want you confused about whether or not you could move through it. So, you know, it's not that bad. But I think if this is actually in the game, it's a double-edged sword, because it's really cool if you can do that. But also I think that games tend to avoid those sorts of things, because then you become unsure just how much you can do. You know what I mean? Like, what's the minimum size gap that you actually can force Ellie through? Because as nice as it is that she can do that, if you come across a gap where it doesn't work the way you want it to, you have a big problem then. That the negative emotion, you know, the negative feelings you will have really offsets all the positive vibes you get just from that little squeeze through there. If you come across a gap and it doesn't work the way you want it to, that's a big loss for the game. So they maybe stand to lose more than they stand to gain from that, you know? It's really cool how that guy staggers when he gets hit with the arrows. It was very believable looking. And the brutality of this, I love it. I love that they're willing to do this. It's really uncomfortable, you know? Like, a lot of games have high levels of violence, but I think The Last of Us is the best at making that sort of violence uncomfortable, which is good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm interested to see what's going on with Joel, but I assume they're going to save that until the game actually comes out. I hope they don't kill him, just for the sake of it. And again, like I've said before, I would actually prefer if this game was just different characters altogether. I don't like that they've gone with Joel and Ellie. You know, it remains to be seen what they can do with them. You know, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt on it, but I really think The Last of Us, and so you can still have a series like The Last of Us, but it just doesn't necessarily have to have the same characters all the time. It could have been different stories in the same world, And that way you're getting a little bit of the benefit of both, you know? I already know what the relationship is between Joel and Ellie, and I feel like they explored that very well. And I really liked the ending to the first game. So, yeah. We'll see. I'm surprised that so many people are skeptical that this is real gameplay. I mean, I think it's entirely possible the AI will not. There's a lot of you are saying that you don't believe it. I don't see anything here that apart from how well the AI is behaving, which I think they may have put most of their effort into after the first game, because it was the biggest the AI in general, I think, was the biggest failing of the first game. I think that they may have focused their efforts on that, and yeah, I could easily see this being actual gameplay. So I'm not as skeptical as other people are. We'll see when it comes out, of course, you know. Yeah, I mean, the animation is very streamlined, but Naughty Dog have always been technically very good, and their animation has always been even like they have always had outstanding animation. I mean, the animation in Uncharted 1 for its time was very, very impressive as well. I mean, it still kind of is, you know, but so to think that they've been able to one-up that again on a new generation of hardware, it doesn't seem that far-fetched to me. We'll see when the game comes out, but I'm not as skeptical as a lot of people seem to be of that. Here we have a full fucking 10-minute intermission, which is just awful. Yeah. What a way to kill the momentum of your thing. You know, people have been wanting to see Last of Us, and then just, oh, here's just a 10-minute intermission. Then Call of Duty, then another intermission, and then VR stuff. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize it was this bad. And then we come in, and then we have a guy playing for minutes on end. He plays for 2 or 3 minutes. This guy plays for. Ghost of Tsushima, okay. I was hoping I would like this one more than I do. Yeah. I don't know. I really like the look of it, the style, the graphics. They've done a great job on that. It looks like a beautiful world. Can't make any complaints there. The fields here. Obviously they're beautiful. But just it's when it came to the combat, it was the real. This is the real pudding, the proof in the pudding. So when this started, I was very interested. How are they going to do this? So I like that he cuts the guy down in one slice. Yeah, that's nice. But you can just sort of tell from the way this looks, it's probably not. I was hoping it would be a bit more arcadey, you know what I mean? A bit more arcadey is the right word, I think. A bit more Devil May Cry, a bit more Bayonetta, a bit more Neo even, Something that is just, this seems too scripted to me. You hit someone and it goes into a finisher and you have little control over it, and so I don't expect to enjoy the combat, and that's a big red flag for me, Animations are great, but they don't look like they will make for enjoyable combat. And I was really hoping that Sucker Punch would do that, because they have made, you look at Infamous. Infamous is, again, I'm struggling to find the right word, so we'll stick with arcadey for now. Infamous is much more arcadey than this, even though it's got a realistic looking world as well. Infamous, it's kind of shootery, but it's got all these mad powers, and it's very arcadey in that way. And it seemed like that was part of their ethos up until now, was to make those arcadey games. It's just the Sony developers have been chasing this cinematic, realistic, grounded style too much. That's just it for me. There's just too many games that are going for that and not just going for the pure fun of gameplay. And I don't mind when some developers do it, you know? It's just... I just don't want them all to do it. I don't want them all to do it, you know? I don't want them all to do it. A little bit of parkour looks okay. I'm sure it's going to have some nice stealth elements in it, and the rope seems okay. But it's probably that blue flag there is probably your indicator. You can use the rope here, and anywhere you can use the rope, you'll have a little blue flag or something. You know, I don't want every game to be like this. Yeah, I was hoping for something more arcadey, it's more traditionally fun, you know? I really hope when I say this, people know what I mean. Because I am totally willing to judge games on their merits. And if I was to review this game, I would judge it for what it is. But there are so many developers doing this now. And especially with Sony, the thing I always liked about Sony compared to the other, compared to say Nintendo even, and Microsoft as well, the thing I always liked about them was they had a wide variety of stuff, you know? They had the stuff that was more grounded and realistic and dark or whatever, but then they also had the lighter stuff. And so they had this, that's one of the reasons I really loved the PlayStation, was you got a little bit of everything on it. You know, you got your, I don't know, folklore and Gravity Rush, and I doubt we'll ever see another Gravity Rush from them. And I don't even like Gravity Rush that much. It's just, there was all sorts of little things on it, you know? And I don't get that from them anymore. And that's sad. I suppose since I'm on the Sony conference, I'll just say the PS4 has been a disappointment to me. I can only think of 2 games that I really care about on it, which are Bloodborne and The Last Guardian. That's it. I can't think of any other games that are like, yeah, I bought the console and I'm happy with this, you know, and I would buy the console for this game. That's it for me so far. So it's been a huge disappointment. I just can't believe it's been out for 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years now. And I have 2 games I can hold up for it. Yeah, you can say Persona 5 as well, but that's on the PS3, you know? Yeah, maybe that counts. I don't know. I also expect Persona 5 to come to PC at some point. And Odin Sphere to come to PC at some point. Some point, you know? But the only 2 games for me are Bloodborne and The Last Guardian. That's it. So we'll have a whole new console in the next... They'll probably reveal the PS5 next year. So... I don't know. Yeah, I hate to be so negative. You know, E3 brings out negativity in me. And it is probably the case that some of the games that I've been less enthused about, if I played them, I would probably feel a lot better about them. But I am really sad about the state of the PlayStation 4. Death Stranding is another one. Like, I'll be happy to play The Last of Us 2, but again, I would have been much happier with it if it wasn't Joel and Ellie. I think some of my fears on that have sort of dissipated a little more as we've seen more of it, but still, I would have much preferred if it wasn't Joel and Ellie. And then you've got Death Stranding, which will almost certainly be a cross-platform game. At this point, they would be mad not to. You've got Dreams, which has taken forever to come out, and Dreams, they didn't actually show this properly, so I'll pause here. Dreams seems like a good thing, but also it's it seems like the kind of thing that would just be much better on PC. I don't want to be that guy, but I am not going to spend the time to make this kind of stuff on with a controller, no matter how good they have done that. No matter how good they have done the controller stuff, and it seems like they've done a very good job. Media Molecule do a great job of taking very complex things and parsing them down into something that can, be understood and used by people very easily, and that's great. But it would still be so much better with a mouse. They have a pointer on screen, and they have a mouse to go with it. So, if you had a mouse to go with it, it would be much better. So, and who knows? At this point, Dreams, I think maybe it's coming out later this year, but that's taken so long to come out now as well. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just not enthused about it. So Dreams is something that I have to give them credit for. They're doing something a bit different with it and all that. And it could be very good, but I just think it would be so much better to, to have it on the PC. I'm not going to meet up for drinks with anybody, so you can knock that off now. It's not happening. I'm not in Dublin anymore anyway. I don't remember this at all. What's this? Control. Just going to let this one play out because I don't remember it. We've got the every trailer, man. Yeah. It looks like Quantum Break, yeah. Resident Evil. This has a long lead in. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, which is why I was letting it play out. I hate the new Leon's face. I fucking hate it. I really, really dislike it. Yeah, it doesn't... Hashtag not my Leon. I don't like it. It doesn't look like Leon to me. He doesn't look cool in the way that Leon did. But, yeah. And I'm also a little disappointed it's not just from the static camera angles of the original. I know that most people wouldn't like that. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best choice. It's just a shame we don't get many games like that these days. And, I think if they did the pre-rendered background thing that they did for Remake, they could make it look really beautiful and, atmospheric. And so yeah, I don't really like the over-the-shoulder thing, but I was expecting it, But otherwise, yeah, this looks okay. I saw a video of the headshot with the shotgun and it looks so satisfying. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Resident Evil 2 from this angle, Who knows? Hopefully they can take the game up a notch in the same way that Remake did. And if they do, then it'll be good. I didn't really like the look of the shooting from some of the clips they showed. It seemed like it was a bit loose. You know, that precision of the laser dot from Resident Evil 4 is not quite there, but yeah. Oh boy, this thing. This fucking thing. I mean, this is just... I find this kind of sad, to be honest with you, how similar it is to Rick and Morty, you know? Is it... You know, and we do the whole stutter thing, and oh, I'm playing the game, and it's ironic, and I like some of Rick and Morty, by the way. I think it's gotten steadily worse with every season, but you know, yeah, it's fine. But like, this just screams of being unimaginative. You know, you get the chance to make some VR game, and you just make not Rick and Morty. It's just not Rick and Morty. You know. That's all it is. I mean, I thought this was some Rick and Morty thing just out there from... I know it's from the same creators as Rick and Morty, but that doesn't make it any better. And even the fucking logo. I mean, when the logo comes up and everything, it's the Rick and Morty logo. That's just... I don't know, man. That's a real lack of creativity there. And this kind of humor really only sustains itself for so long. The whole, it's, you know, it's not really good, but it kind of is, you know. It's funny because I'm in a bathtub, you know. Oh, I'm playing a game. Look at me, it's a game. It only works for so long, you know. It's... Yeah, okay. I love seeing the realistic thing with the cartoon. Oh, they rendered them really well there. Oh, that's really cool. They're still cartoony, but I really like the way they're rendered there. That's great. They really struck the right balance with Donald and Goofy there. Goofy is mad, yeah. These fucking black trenchcoat people. The whole story. See, I don't know anything about the Kingdom Hearts story, but this whole story seems to be about black trenchcoat people now, and I don't know why, and I don't want it to be about them. I just want to go on adventures in weird worlds, you know. I don't want the black trenchcoat people. Oh, right. Is this glitching on the actual video, or is my cable just loose? Oh, it's on the video. So I only watched the first 30 seconds of this. This music sounds like Max Richter. Is this Max Richter? No. That sort of uptick into hope isn't very Max Richter-y. It sounds a bit Max Richter-y. Yeah, I only watched some of this. And looks like a walking simulator, but I don't know. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it looks cool. Like you're a courier or something. I don't know. I'm down for a game where you're a weird sci-fi courier delivering babies out your throat or something. I don't know. But I'm glad Kojima is away from Metal Gear. I just wish this game hadn't been revealed so soon. I'm not going to be watching the trailers on it, so that's all I have to say on that. Neo 2. I haven't played Neo. You know, the main reason I haven't played Neo is because I don't have... I didn't have a proper internet connection, and it's 80 gigabyte install. who knows what the download is? Maybe 60 gigabytes or something. So, yeah. Now I can download it. I might get around to playing it soon. Spidey Man. This looks okay. I probably won't play it because I'm not big into those superhero games. We all know what the best superhero game ever made is, you know. You're not going to top it with a licensed quick-time event combat thing. That's pretty cool looking. They really nailed the momentum and the animations. You know, this looks to me like it looks like the Batman Arkham games of Spider-Man. It looks like it's going to be this nice polished thing with lots of, you know, with quick-timey combat and all that, but still ultimately kind of works because, you know, it looks like it will give you the feeling of being Spider-Man, and that's the main thing. So, but yeah, obviously see some room for improvement in the combat and stuff like that. Because it does have a really nice sense of momentum to it, and the animations do look really, really good. I know people are concerned about the webs thing. I never played Spider-Man 2, so I can't say much about that. But yeah, look at that. I mean, it's not going to be complex, or, you know, but maybe it's better than I gave it credit for. I think the main problem is probably just that the enemies aren't going to pose any threat whatsoever from the looks of that. You know, ripping off some guy's shield and swinging it around and juggling people with your webs and stuff. That's pretty cool. So it's not for me, but I think if you're a fan of Spider-Man, this game probably ticks many of the right boxes. Got the Spidey sense and the running up walls and the web slinging and all the bad guys and all that. So it's hard for me to be upset that this is some kind of licensed game or anything like that, you know? Looks good. For what it is, it looks good. There you go. This was I had to watch this one without music or without sound for some reason. Okay, there is no sound here. Never seen. Yeah, don't know much about this. It's hard. Again, it's hard to get excited for VR stuff when you don't have a VR headset. So yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to see them doing something a bit different, you know? Maybe it'll be good. This is apparently some game where you're a ghost and you have to prove your existence to the children of some boarding school. And, you know, it could be interesting. The VR thing is more of a turn-off for me, though, because it feels like if you don't have a VR headset and you play a game that's VR compatible, you're not getting the best experience. So, yeah. All right. Oh yeah, there was really only one game of this, wasn't there? We're nearly done. We're at 3 hour mark. It's quite a bit shorter than the other streams, but I think I was more willing to skip stuff this time. So let's see. Xenoblade. Just don't like the look of the new Xenoblade, so does nothing for me. It's a shame because it's a really cool world. I love the idea of the world, just like I love the world in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. But the actual game and the story just doesn't seem to do anything for me, so. Pokemon, let's go Eevee, let's go Pikachu. It's I wonder what the decision was behind this, whether it was we know we're not going to get a proper Pokemon game out in time, so we need something to hold people over, or was this genuinely put into production before they thought that? I don't know, but it's, I don't know, it doesn't seem, yeah, it seems just like casual Pokemon game for casual Pokemon fans, and that's okay, I suppose. Yeah, but it's just a bit strange because it takes some air out of the balloon, you know what I mean, to see this. Presumably the actual hardcore Pokemon game will look better than this. It will have more in it. It will maybe look better. It will be more fully fleshed out, presumably. So to see this sort of in-between step is, like I said, it's taking air out of the balloon. It's sort of, you know, I don't know. It might have been better for them just not to have this game and then to have the next Pokemon be a big leap that people were hoping for. But then again, Game Freak seemed to want to... Game Freak are playing a smart game where they set your expectations appropriately. Game Freak probably don't want to do the big, huge console Pokemon game that the fans would salivate for, because they know if they do that, then every other game has to have that level of effort put into it from then on. So there you go, you know. So it's kind of clever of them that they set their expectations correctly, you know. It's savvy of them to do that, but it's hard to respect them for doing that either, you know. I don't expect the actual Switch Pokemon game to be a huge leap up from this, but in an ideal world, it would be. But then they know if they do that, then every Pokemon game after that has to have that level behind it. So there you go. This the graphics on this look kind of rough to me. I was expecting the Fire Emblem reveal to be a bit more grandiose or something. Would it? I wonder if it would have been better with nice hand-drawn 2D sprites or something, you know? So... yeah, I expected when they revealed Fire Emblem it would look a bit more put together than this. This seems indie game level quality, you know? Just the mismatch between the characters and the thing, which isn't so bad because I know they have to stand out a little bit because they are units, but I mean they do have a big circle on them. Just a more stylized approach would have looked better than this. This seems very realistic and this is very anime, you know? The textures and it seems like it's going for a very realistic approach over here, but then the characters are not. It doesn't blend well. So I expected this to look a lot better. I don't know if... can someone tell me if you're a Fire Emblem fan, are you actually excited for this game? Because I assumed that this would kind of be a slam dunk for them. They would just kind of bump up the quality of everything and... I don't know. This looks cool, the way it goes into the thing, but again, the environment and the characters just doesn't work for me. I love Fire Emblem and this looked very bad to me. Sprites all the way. Quite disappointed in the presentation too. Yeah, well, Mecha, I know you just want an Advance Wars like myself, so I really am. It reminded me of the GameCube and Wii one. The friend who was a huge Fire Emblem fan, he said he was iffy on this at best. Yeah. Yeah, it's always interesting to me when a company takes something which seems like a sure thing to me and then just does this something that just, I don't know. Fortnite, no interest. I need to play this at some point. I've heard it's fun, but I haven't got around to it. Now you're not going to be expecting this. This was kind of a highlight of the show for me. I like this. If you haven't found out anything about this game, I encourage you to look it up. I really like the look of this one. Yeah, it's sort of like Joust, right? I encourage you to look up some of this if you haven't already, because I was confused about what it was when they showed it. I don't like the zoomed in view that they have. Yeah, so this is how the game actually looks, right? And you have one person who's a queen on each team. It's a 4v4 game. So you have one person who's a queen on each team, and several people who are sort of soldier worker bee guys, and you have to either kill the enemy queen 3 times, collect more pollen than the enemy team, or get the snail all the way across to your goal, right? So you have these 3 different goals to work towards. Seriously, look up a video of it. Oh, thanks, Mecca, the reminder to talk about waiting. Perfect, thank you. Yeah, so I'll get to that in a minute. Thanks for that, seriously. So yeah, one of you controls each person, so it's actually a 4v4 game, and you have to go collect the pollen and put it in, or you can upgrade your little worker bee guy into somebody who can attack, but he can't collect pollen then. And yeah, go and watch a couple of games of it. It looks really interesting. This to me is sort of like I'll be my 30-year-old boomer self here, Grandpa Matthew, Uncle Matthew. And I'll say back years and years ago, right? Back years and years ago, before shooters dominated everything, the multiplayer games that I played, I'm talking like back on the PS1. I'm sure there's SNES games as well that were along that line. Right? Like I used to play stuff like Team Buddies, or what was it? Team Buddies Unholy War. I didn't own Unholy War, but it was this sort of game where it was like a hex grid, and you would walk around and you would go into a battle against people. And also Future Cop LAPD, So you would have these games, these multiplayer games that had nothing to do with shooting. Well, maybe you did shoot, but they were sort of top down, or you had collecting resources and stuff in it. And yeah, that to me, when I was that age, not knowing that shooters were going to take over everything and be the big thing, I kind of assumed that that's what more multiplayer games would be like in the future. They'd be this kind of weird thing, where you were playing different roles, kind of like Fat Princess, actually. I wish I had played more Fat Princess when that was going, because that was kind of the thing I was talking about. Everybody takes a different role. Some of you are guarding and it's top down, and some of you are out chopping trees and stuff like that. So I like the look of this, where you go and you collect resources, and one of you plays as the queen and one of you plays as the other guys, and it seems interesting to me. It just seems like the kind of multiplayer game I'd be into. So I'm looking forward to playing it properly. It's already an arcade game. There's a different version of it that you can play. But then to talk about the waiting thing, I was watching a video of them playing it where they had people playing it, and then you do a match, which is best of 7, was it? Best of 7 or something, because the matches are quite short. And you get the best of 7 thing going, and after that then it goes into like a 60-second wait for the next match. And this is a problem I have with multiplayer games in general, and I really don't want this game to suffer from it. The fucking wait times that you have in multiplayer games, if everybody says rematch, the game should just start the next match. It really should. I mean, you should get maybe 10 seconds at most to look over your stats for the last game or pick something that you need to pick for the next game or something. I can't stand the amount of waiting that multiplayer games has on like any multiplayer game, especially if everybody's up for a rematch or everybody stays in. It even happens in Splatoon, I think, where you've got everybody stays in the lobby and then it's got a 20-second countdown to the next game or something like that. It's too much wasted time. If you actually clock up the wasted time, sometimes it feels like you spend as much time just waiting in the lobby as you do playing the game. And that's not how it should be, right? You want people playing the game. So, yeah. So I want them to change that. If there's actually a 60-second wait time in this game, that will be a real fucking problem for me, because I am not going to wait 60 seconds in between every match. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. It will make me stop playing the game way sooner than I would have. So I hope that that they don't do that. I hope that if maybe it was just for E3, maybe it was just a timer for E3 or something, but you really should be able to get games going a lot quicker than that. It's gotta be quicker. Some of you guys were saying the Octo expansion is really good. So I was tempted to buy it. Some people told me yesterday it's really good, that it lives up to the first single player thing of for Splatoon could be. So it's quite good. Difficult, but I love. It's difficult? It's what the single player should have been. Yeah, so I will give that a go. I'll download the Octo expansion if people are saying it's good. I'll give it a go. Challenging. All right, the big reveal. Here we go. I gotta maximize this again. Smash Bros. Yeah, this was a great reveal. You get the music. The music is great. It's got that epic Smash Bros sort of vibe to it. It sounds exactly like. I'm sure this is what plays on the main menu. Where is it? So they go along for a little bit, and then there's the snake thing. I think, first of all, the thing that struck me as somebody who makes videos, actually the most impressive thing about this is the sheer fucking amount of work that must have gone into this whole Smash Bros presentation. It is a never-ending, non-stop ride of just perfectly choreographed things in game. I mean, I'm sure they have some sort of scripting thing they can do in the game where they load in the characters and get them to perform actions at the right time. But the sheer number of them that they did is just fucking crazy. And they found little things, get him to run in and do his taunt and then get the other one to run in. Like, they tried to come up with an interesting way to reveal all of the characters. The sheer amount of work that went into this whole presentation, like, especially considering it goes on much longer after this, is just huge. I really can't downplay that at all. What a pain in the ass it must have been. So yeah. Smash Bros. Ultimate, it sounds like they're making some good changes to it. Getting Luigi in. So it sounds like they're making good changes to it. I like this little illustration. And then they go through all the changes that they had. I like what they're doing with the unlock thing. I mean, maybe for competitive players, they should put in some kind of unlock code. Maybe they'll have that and that'll be good. But I think for most players, it's going to be fun to start with the 8 characters and then unlock like 60 more characters by doing various things. So I like that they've done that. Like, they may never have another opportunity to make a game where they say everybody from the previous Smash Bros. Games is here. So it's nice that they're willing to go with just the original 8 and then unlock all the rest. I think that's the right choice, even if it might upset competitive players a bit. Like I said, I hope there's some kind of cheat code that allows you to skip that for easy tournament setup or whatever. Yeah, then they ran through some of the changes, and it sounds like some of them are good. Like they're trying to encourage more aggressive play. Like I can't remember them all, but you know, the dodge punishment and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm only kind of vaguely aware of Smash as a competitive thing. You know, I never really got into it myself. I'm perfectly content to just play it on a more casual level. But I think what Sakurai maybe didn't really understand, and what I really wish somebody could really get across to him, is that even as somebody who never got into them on that level, I still prefer Melee over the rest of them just because the sheer speed of it, you know? It's just more fun to be flying around and doing things a lot faster. And this does seem faster. And does seem like it rewards aggressive play more. So I'm hoping that it will be a nice step forward. I don't expect that Melee players will be particularly happy with it, because it's not going to have everything that they want in it. But yeah, it looks like it's ticking boxes for me, you know. And obviously having all the characters there is fun. I'm curious how many more characters they're going to add. Obviously, I don't expect them to have many more, but it'd be nice to get a few more in there. And also, I think it's almost more impressive, the sheer number of stages that are in it. At this point, it's easier to have... What am I saying? I'm impressed by the sheer number of stages that are in it. I don't know what the fuck I was saying about easier. Like, just... Presumably a lot of these stages were remade from the ground up, and that's almost more impressive than the character roster to me. I mean, characters have a lot of work put into them in their animations and all that, but a lot of these levels have stage hazards and stuff like that. So it's a lot, you know, it's a lot. Like, the sheer amount of content in this game is just crazy. It's just crazy. And normally it's not something I think about that much. I'm more just concerned whether a game is good than the sheer... I want a game to be good for the amount of time I'm going to play it. So whatever level of content allows that to happen is fine by me. But the sheer amount of content in this game is just kind of staggering, you know? So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it, especially because I didn't buy any of the DLCs. I figured there was going to be some ultimate version of this game at some point anyway. So I didn't buy any of the DLC, and I figured there was going to be some kind of ultimate version of the game afterwards. So characters like Bayonetta and Cloud and Ryu and all, they are new characters to me, essentially. So I have a lot of new stuff to sink my teeth into on this one. So we'll see. I think the fact that they started talking about changes that they were making to shields and dodges and stuff shows that they are more concerned with, and that the one-on-one damage and all that, they're more concerned with it from that competitive angle. So hopefully a bit more time spent with it, maybe a bit of feedback, they'll you know. I see some people upset about the fact that Bomberman is just an assist trophy, but I actually think that's what suits him best. If he wasn't an assist trophy, you'd probably only get to do the big bombs if you had the final smash. Whereas now you get the big Bomberman bombs a lot more often, probably, You know, you get him in every game. I think it's a good role for him, actually. You know, I wouldn't be too upset about that. Obviously, don't be upset about Waluigi either. The whole Waluigi thing is fucking... It's just embarrassing, to be honest with you. How many people actually genuinely care about fucking Waluigi? It's just because Ridley got in, people wanted to find a new thing to bitch about. And I think that's really, like, shameful. Like, the fact that... I mean, Sakurai obviously pours his fucking heart and soul into these games. You know, whether you like the decisions he's made with them or not, the guy is probably working himself to death on these games, you know? So Ridley gets in, big fan request, and then the first thing everybody does is try and target a new request that you can complain about. It's so dumb. So dumb. It's such a fucking shame. Like, for Sakurai to have to hear that shit. Apparently he was getting spammed on Twitter about it. It's fucking... I mean, like, the guy obviously put so much work into it. Can you even imagine? Like, with the amount of content in this game, he has to oversee all of it, try to make sure it conforms to whatever he's going for. All the characters have to behave the way he wants. And I mean, I understand a lot of this was done on the previous games, but just... yeah. Anyway. Yeah, apparently you can do any move out of a dash now, which is pretty cool. I don't know how that works, but... I like that I'll be able to buy GameCube controllers until the end of time, you know? I'll never have to worry about how I'm going to play Killer 7 or Beautiful Joe or anything like that. Just buy another GameCube controller. It actually does make a big difference in Killer 7. The resistance you get on the analog stick affects your enjoyment, you know? If it's looser, it's... Because the main thing you do in that game is aim at shit, so... It makes a difference, being able to buy new controllers for things. So there you go, Ridley gets in. And that's it. I feel like I'm being anticlimactic here. This is an anticlimactic end to the stream, but I really can't think of anything more to say. I'm looking forward to playing it. I don't know if it'll have longevity with me. I think that really depends on the kinds of tweaks they're making, because I didn't stick with Smash 4 for that long. But, you know, I respect the huge amount of content that's gone into it. It seems like they've taken some feedback on board and made it a bit faster, snappier, more aggressive. So I think this could, by all rights, be much more enjoyable and interesting. So, there we go. There we go. It's oh yeah, I suppose I should talk about what wasn't shown at the Nintendo thing. They really put a lot of weight on Smash, huh? They really, and maybe it was the right decision. I don't know, because Smash does have a lot of weight to it. But I don't know if it was enough. I feel like maybe people were a little disappointed by this showing. Presumably, you know, Bayonetta 3 and Metroid 4 are still they'd be well into development now at this point. And they'll have them to show at another point, and maybe they'll have another port to show. Maybe they'll have the wonderful one, the one Nintendo. Why won't you port the wonderful 101? Do it. Do it now. Maybe they'll port that one at some point. I don't know. I can't think of any more ports I'd really like. I would like, because I never really played the new Super Mario Bros. Games. I feel like I'm out of the loop on that. I'm behind on the 2D Mario things. I'd like for them to do a new 2D Mario game that wasn't new Super Mario Bros. It wasn't that clinical, plasticky style. And I'd like for them to maybe release a collection of those games for the Switch, because I never bought them in the first place, so that would benefit me a lot. Newer Super Mario Bros. Yeah. So, yeah. So they didn't show Bayonetta 3. I don't know what to expect of Bayonetta 3. I hope it's not the game Kamiya is directing. I'm sure he's probably doing the story on it, but I think a good Bayonetta sequel doesn't need him, you know? because Bayonetta is already so laid down. Then again, I don't think Bayonetta 2 was as good as the first one, so I'm sure Bayonetta 3 would stand to benefit from his influence, but maybe they know what to do now for Bayonetta 3. Maybe Bayonetta 3 will be a bigger departure than Bayonetta 2, and it'll be its own thing. So I don't know. They've said that given the information that they said since Scalebound, it sounds like he's working on some smaller thing that they're very confident in, that they're going to self-publish, which is all the right things that I would like to hear. So yeah, but presumably Bayonetta 3 is well into development, and Metroid Prime 4, so they don't feel the need to reveal them just yet. Maybe they're banking on Pokemon Let's Go as well. I'm sure there's some people looking forward to that. And they'll talk about them more later. And I don't hold that against them, because games just get too much information too soon. But then again, it obviously would have been best if they didn't reveal Metroid Prime 4 or Bayonetta 3 until they were ready to show a little something and get people excited for the pending release. But presumably they have to do that because they're a platform holder. It is more understandable for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo to be doing that, because they there's much more excuses for Death Stranding than there is for Elder Scrolls 6. Sony wants people to buy their platform, so they want you to know what's coming for it. It makes a lot more sense in that way. And the same is true for Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3, but probably be a while before we see them. But I think the Switch is doing all right, and I think it's got the good hold on the indie thing. I'm buying indie games on the Switch that I might normally have bought on the PC, like Sonic Mania. I'll probably buy Curse of the Moon or whatever it is, that Bloodstained thing. So maybe they feel like they don't have to show off that much. But as much as I think Smash is a big system seller for them, it might have been nice to have something else here to latch onto. Because if you're not interested in Smash, that's the whole presentation pretty much gone for you, But then again, I think most people like Smash. It is definitely one of the biggest things that they have. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything I forgot to talk about? Chat? You want to have a chat for a few minutes? I can finally take a much deserved swig of some water and chill out for a minute. Hollow Knight on Switch. I've talked about Hollow Knight in the past. I talked about it yesterday. I don't love it as much as some people do, but it's a very easily recommendable game. For me, it's kind of like a Metroid game with no real bad parts that if you recommend it to someone, they're going to get stuck on, or that one boss, or that one bit, or that one mechanic, or anything like that. It's not something that I would, I can't think of anything along those lines that were in it. So I think that's really the game's greatest strength, actually, is that there's not many weak parts. And that does mean something. That is a big thing for it, Like I said, Axiom Verge has weak bosses, and Environmental Station Alpha has some problems of its own, and I think Hollow Knight doesn't have many problems, but it's just the movement isn't that good, and I think the bosses are good, but the movement wasn't that interesting to me, and the backtracking in particular was pretty egregious, I think. I know it's part of the genre, but that doesn't mean it can't be more interesting than it was in Hollow Knight, But it's a good game. I like it. And if you haven't played it, I totally recommend it. And I'm sure it's better on Switch than anywhere, because you can just play it in bed and stuff as well. I talked about Sekiro already If you want to go to the Dublin meetup tomorrow and wake up with no kidney, you're welcome to go in my place. Go ahead. Ever thought of doing audio-only reviews that you could pump out quicker? Kind of, yeah. Be much easier to do reviews just off the top of my head. That's what I'll do when I retire, so... No, seriously, if you guys want to have a meetup, you're free to do that. But of course, you do so at your own peril. Who knows what my audience is really like? Where am I keeping Retro Studios? Yeah, forgot about that. Thanks, Turbo. I don't know. Obviously, I don't have them. But yeah, they've been gone for a long time. You wonder if maybe they were helping out on Tropical Freeze or something like that. Were they behind the Tropical Freeze port? I don't know. It's it's interesting. Because they're not working on Metroid Prime 4. Maybe what they're working on just isn't going that well. I know that, a lot of the team have left. The people that worked on Metroid Prime, they moved to Armature and they worked on that, what was the name of that game? Recore. So, and even though Recore apparently didn't turn out great, I haven't played it, so I'll reserve judgment myself. A lot of people say it didn't come out great. And Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was good, but even though it seems like Retro can survive without those people who left, maybe those people were necessary. Maybe if those people go off, it's the kind of thing where the individual people by themselves, it's the team synergy maybe that makes the difference, is what I'm trying to say. So even if some people have gone and some people are still there, and who knows? So maybe the new project isn't going well or something. It seems like it has taken an excessively long time at this point to come out. So how many years have they been working on that now? 3 or 4 years and there's still no announcement? It's generally not a good sign, But maybe they'll just announce it closer to release and that would be a good thing, Thoughts on the Yakuza series? I haven't played them. Kind of want to play them at some point, but yeah, I haven't got around to them. I'm not sure they're my cup of tea, but I would like to give at least one of them a try. Give one of them a chance to win me over. They look kind of fun and quirky in their own way, and I like mini games. I'd like a good mini game if that's in it. I want to hop into the arcade machine and play Outrun and forget that I'm playing Yakuza and then step out and be like, whoa, this was in another game. I think that's kind of a cool thing about it. I don't know how many other arcade games they have in it. I think maybe they had Virtua Fighter in one of them or something. Matthew, I tried banana bread beer and it was awful. Why did you lie to me? It's good. I can't get it anymore. I like it. Your mileage may vary. I don't know. I liked it. Maybe it's an acquired taste. How the hell do I do Zeta difficult? I don't know. Any particular character you want in Smash? I think everybody here knows the answer to that one. Surely you know the answer, right? Come on now. Come on, chat. Who do I want in Smash? Tell me. Uncle Dante. There's the winner, yeah. Blunder Red. Blunder Red, man. David Cage. How did both of you say David Cage independently of each other? I don't understand how that would happen. Your avatar and Sans in Smash. Yeah. Demi-Fiend, that's featured in the Shin Megami Tensei series, yeah. Drebin, Tom York. Michael Collins. Hmm. Have you caught up on reading Yotsuba? No, I haven't. I have not. Alright. I've sufficiently derailed the chat that I think I should just leave. Nearly 4 hours is enough. We went through and it was pretty much, yeah. I don't know if I'll keep doing these E3 streams, because I know you guys like them and you want me to do them. I can't imagine it's that interesting, actually. I mean, yeah, I talked about stuff, but I didn't really give any insight, did I? You know? I didn't. I just said, yeah, okay. I kind of like the look of this, and that was alright, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth doing this every year. Because I have kind of a similar reaction to a lot of games, even the games I'm not interested in. If I played them, I'd try and be open-minded. I'd encourage you all to be open-minded, you know? But just, I don't know. I don't get excited about E3. I just don't. I want a game to be excited about. I do. I don't have a game to be excited about, do I? Yeah. There you go. I'm looking forward to Spire from the Dust Force devs and Noitcha, or however you pronounce that. That falling sand pixel game. I'm looking forward to them. And Baba is you. But I don't have a big game to be really excited about, do I? But that's okay. We'll live. There's so many games to play still anyway. All of you, you know, you're in the same boat as me. You have a million games, older games you could be playing right now. So just, there's still plenty of stuff out there. So there's no CNC game. Oh, I forgot about that already. On the phone. It plays Command and Conquer on the phone. Yeah. Cooler World Ball for Smash. Hey. It'd be good if you did Game & Watch or Duck Hunt of the new game. Alright. I'm going. It probably won't be that long before I stream again, but I really have to get back to work on actual videos and stuff for the time being. So I hope it was enjoyable. I hope I wasn't too cynical or annoying or whatever. Try not to be too bad about everything. Try not to get down. Yeah. Sure, it wasn't that bad. There's some good stuff to look forward to. So, good night, everybody. Hope you have a good evening. And I'll see you next year. See you next year. Bye-bye. And let's turn this thing off.